Hello everyone, it's Top Romance here. Before watching the video, please take 3 seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This will give me more motivation to make even more high-quality videos. Thank you very much. I wish you a happy new day. The story begins with the appearance of a handsome young man. Unlai held the small, delicate hand of the beautiful girl. His lips curved into a smile. Nuni, thank you for agreeing to marry me. Contrary to his excitement, Nuni frowned and replied, humph. Suddenly, Enli's face was filled with surprise. Nuni's sharp sword pierced through him. Enli's face couldn't hide his sorrow. Nuni, what is the meaning of this? While withdrawing her sword, she expressed her feelings. Enli, I'm sorry. You have committed too many evil deeds. You treat human lives like dirt. You're no longer the pitiful person you once were. Tears welled up in her eyes as Nuni continued painfully. For the sake of the world and all living beings, you must die. The young man behind her interjected, Nuni, why bother killing him yourself? Just let us kill this monster. Yeah, why do you need to get your hands dirty? You'll only stain your hands doing that. Enli replied sadly, I've never even held a small corner in your heart. I don't blame you. It was 2 a.m. Our female protagonist yelled. Arg. On her laptop screen was the tragic love story of Enli and Nuni. She angrily tapped her keyboard. What kind of plot is this author writing? 7 men fighting over 1 woman, but why kill my innocent Enli? What a heartless author. She looked incredibly frustrated. Enli, as elegant as an orchid, as pure as jade. Oh, so gentle and kind. Cultivating chi at 3, establishing a foundation at 5. Everyone praises him as a genius. Clearly the pride of heaven. Yet because he didn't need to undergo tribulation, he fell to the mortal realm, only to be spit on by Neem and killed by the one he loved. Such a suitable male lead setup. Yet he ends up with the fate of cannon fodder. Where's the justice? After typing her comment, the female protagonist quickly hit send. In short, Enli is the best. In my heart, Enli is the true male lead. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck her. A system appeared. Congratulations, host. Congratulations on successfully activating the pitiful supporting male lead rescue system. The female protagonist slowly opened her eyes. She thought to herself, where am I? The system narrated, in 10 seconds, host will transmigrate into the book. I dominate the immortal realm with my beauty, becoming the vicious servant girl, Hung Neem, beside the supporting male lead, Enli. The female protagonist asked blankly, transmigrate into a book. Her eyes widened. Enli, my precious Enli. Inwardly, she wailed. How can my luck be so bad? And to become a servant girl, no less. The system projected an image of Enli for her to see. Indeed, at this time, Enli is only 8 years old. Because of his vicious nature, his spiritual root was crippled by his father and Nuak Fa, and he was abandoned in a desolate and isolated bamboo courtyard. Pitiful images of Enli gradually appeared. The system continued. Furthermore, every month, immortal sect Taoists perform a ritual to draw Enli's blood to supposedly purge his evil. After taking the blood, and Nuak Fa sends someone to give Enli medicine, barely sustaining his life. The female protagonist furrowed her brow. So, what do I have to do to save Enli? The system smiled. Host, please remain calm. Now, let's begin the mission. Save the pitiful, ailing Enli. Increase his favorable impression of you to earn points. Accumulated points can be exchanged for items that will increase your power. Neem's face lit up with excitement. Heaven must be helping me, she thought. I won't let Enli suffer that tragic ending from the book. Not while I'm here. No one will bully my precious Enli. No one. The system's voice chimed in. Prepare for transmigration, host. Neem clenched her fist, a determined glint in her eyes. The system began to count down. 3, 2, 1. Moments later, Neem found herself in a village, diligently sweeping the courtyard. Congratulations, host. Transmigration successful, the system announced. A newcomer gift of 500 points has been added to your account. Please check. Neem looked around, bewildered. Where's Enli? Where is he? Suddenly, a harsh voice broke through the air. Hit him harder. Don't stop until he hands over the box. Neem whirled around. A group of thugs were brutally beating Enli. They sneered, let's see if you'll hand it over now. If you don't, we'll beat you to death. Unable to bear the horrific sight, Neem rushed forward. Stop, she shouted, shoving the thugs back. What do you think you're doing? Bullying the weak, ganging up on one person. Is this the conduct of righteous cultivators from the immortal sect? Titch fam, one of the thugs scowled. Neem, Mind your own business. He clutched a vial of medicine, sneering. He's just a cripple without a spiritual root. What use does he have for high-grade medicine like this? It's a waste on him. Might as well give it to us. Neem clenched her fists, recognizing the medicine as vital for Lee's survival. She couldn't let them take it. Stop, she commanded, quickly drawing a talisman. Give it back. 1 thunder talisman, 25 points. Purchase successful. Current points, 0. Neem winced inwardly. System, your prices are outrageous. My 500 points gone. The talisman crackled with energy, scattering the thugs. Titch fam, clutching the medicine, coughed. That woman has a thunder talisman. Only nascent soul cultivators can create those. He thought, alarmed. Neem brandished the talisman, a smirk playing on her lips. Leave that medicine, or I'll unleash dozens more of these on you. You won't survive. Perhaps intimidated by her fierce demeanor, the thugs quickly fled. Senior brother, wait for us, they called out as they ran. Neem let out a sigh of relief, glancing at the talisman in her hand. Good thing they didn't call my bluff. I only had enough points for 1 real talisman. The rest were fakes. She picked up the medicine. Thank goodness they didn't stick around. Rushing to Lee's side, she helped him up. Young master, let's get your wounds treated. He glared at her, his voice laced with bitterness. Don't pretend to be kind now. What's the point? He snatched the medicine from her hand. Neem stared at him, a pang of sadness in her heart as she saw his pain. Lee's body trembled, and he suddenly collapsed, the pills scattering across the ground. Young master, Neem cried out in alarm. Lee frantically scrambled for the pills, clutching one tightly in his hand. Lee shoved the pill into his mouth, startling Neem. She caught his hand and stopped him. Wait, she said softly. Young master, be good. Spit it out, all right. It's all dirty. We shouldn't eat it. Lee quickly pulled his hand back, frowning. You don't understand anything. Neem's heart clenched. How could I not understand? She thought. He was once a brilliant and stunning cultivation prodigy that reduced to a useless cripple, scorned by everyone, his spiritual root destroyed in a single night. Now he's nothing but a frail, sickly boy confined to this dilapidated bamboo courtyard. Poor Lee. I just want to hug him. She reached out to embrace him, but Lee quickly dodged her touch. Don't come near me, he snapped, his voice filled with sorrow. You don't have to pretend in front of me. He gritted his teeth. I don't need your fake concern. Neem felt a pang of panic at his words. Then, gently, she pulled him into a hug. Whose child is this? She murmured. Such a temper. Not cute at all. As she held him, she was surprised by his weight. He's so light. How can he be so light? Lee struggled in her arms, shouting, Stop it. I told you not to touch me. Let me go. Neem ignored his protests, tightening her embrace. I'm not hurting you, she said. But if you don't behave. She playfully swatted his bottom. Then I'll spank you. Lee scowled. You. Neem thought, did I just anger the target by spanking him? The system's voice suddenly appeared. Target's favorability decreased by 1. Current favorability, minus 45. Target's favorability decreased by 1. Current favorability, minus 46. Neem was taken aback. Wait, favorability can be negative, and it's still going down. As night fell, Neem sat with Lee in his room, tending to his wounds. His favorability towards me is so negative. I have to find a way to raise it. I can't let him keep harboring such ill will towards me. It's the original Neem who treated him badly. Why do I have to bear the consequences? She lamented internally. Forcing a smile, she said, Young master, let me clean you up first, then apply medicine to your wounds. That way you'll heal faster. Lee didn't look at her. If it's out of pity, I don't need it, he said haughtily. Neem gently wiped his dirty hands. It's not pity, she replied softly. It's my duty. Such a lovable young master. Why should you suffer like this? She smiled. Heaven is truly unfair. But don't worry, young master. I'll treat you well. Lee frowned. You weren't like this before. Neem's expression turned somber. Yes, she admitted, I was terrible before. Then, brightening, she told him, but from now on, I'll always be by your side, serving you well. Lee didn't believe her. What do you want from me? He asked suspiciously. He frowned, thinking, treating me so well. What does she want to take from me? I clearly have nothing left. Neem gently wiped his cheek with a cloth, surprising him with the tenderness of the gesture. I think you should open your heart, young master, she advised softly. Not everyone has bad intentions towards you. She pinched his cheeks playfully. Come on, young master, give me a smile. Lee blushed, brushing her hands away. So disrespectful, he muttered. Undeterred, Neem continued her attempts to befriend him. Let me apply the medicine, young master. A short while later, Neem had carefully bandaged Lee's hand. He looked at his neatly treated wound, a flicker of something akin to gratitude stirring within him. Neem hurried to leave. Smiling, she said, "Young master, I'm going out to gather some things. I'll be back soon. Don't worry." Lai responded with a disgruntled, "Whatever." Carrying the water basin, Neem thought sadly, sigh. It seems Lai is still very wary of me. Suddenly, the system appeared. Neem's eyes widened in surprise. System notification. Congratulations, host. The target's favorability has increased by 100 points. Current favorability, 36. Total points, -100. Neem was overjoyed. His favorability increased by so much. Noticing the faint blush creeping up Lee's ears, Neem chuckled softly. He really is at Sundara. Scene change. Servant girl's quarters, nighttime. Niemiecki gently packt her belongings. She smiled, thinking of Lai. Lai is covered in injuries. It's inconvenient for him to do anything by himself. For the time being, I should move in with him. That way, I can take care of him. Suddenly, a sharp voice startled her, causing her to turn around. A servant girl with her arms crossed sneered. "Where are you going with your things in the middle of the night?" Neem asked softly. "Who are you?" The girl curled her lip in disdain. "Kwang Neem, are you playing dumb? I'm Lu Noyetmai." Neem's brow furrowed. Lu Noyetmai. I remember now. The image of her brutally beating Lai flashed vividly in her mind. The author wrote about Lu Noyetmai in the book. She's a demon spy sent to monitor and sabotage Lai. She routinely tortured and abused him. The disgusting image of her appeared when Lai was only 15. She even forced him to take her virginity. It was because of this that his psyche began to warp, his personality turning dark. Lu Noyetmai raised her voice. Why aren't you saying anything? Are you feeling guilty about something? What? Have you finally come to your senses and decided to pack your things and run away from that waste? Neem glared at Lu Noyetmai, raising her voice. How much longer are you going to hide your demon identity? She thought. This calamity poses a danger to Lai every minute she remains. I might as well find a way to drive her away for good. For Lee's innocence, I must protect him. Lu Noyetmai snapped, "So, you know my true identity now?" With that, she lunged at Neem. "Then don't blame me for being ruthless." Neem was momentarily stunned. Just then, the system appeared. "Host, in this critical moment, would you like to use 100 points to exchange for an extreme rebound talisman?" Extreme rebound reflects the opponent's attack back at them. Neem quickly replied, "Yes." She lamented internally, "Wah, now I have no more accumulated points." Neem smiled faintly, brandishing the talisman towards Lu Noyetmai. The woman cried out in pain, tumbling to the ground. Despite her injuries, she snarled, "Cough, cough. Kwang Neem, just you wait." With that, she fled. Neem breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, that's taken care of. Suddenly, she noticed a jade Buddha pendant lying on the ground. This is the jade Buddha pendant. Neem quickly picked it up. I remember this. It was left to him by his mother. Lai treasures it deeply. He looks at it every night before going to sleep. I didn't realize Lu Noyetmai stole it. She hurried towards Lee's quarters. I must return this quickly. He'll be worried if it's gone. Lai grew anxious as he waited for Neem's return. It's been a while. That woman still hasn't come back. His face gradually darkened. She was lying to me all along, saying she would always stay by my side. She couldn't even keep up the pretense for a little while. He reached for the jade pendant hidden beneath his pillow. In this world, the only thing that can truly stay with me forever is this jade pendant left by my mother. But when his fingers found nothing and Lee's face paled, it's gone. He searched around him, but to no avail. Panic swelled within him. My jade pendant. I always keep it under my pillow. How could it suddenly disappear? Suddenly, his thoughts landed on Neem. It must be her. She's the one who did this. She's the only one who's been in here. He seethed. I should have known better. How could she suddenly be so nice to me? He roared in frustration. I'll kill her. Lai slammed his fist into the ground. Kill her. Kill them all. Just then, Neem appeared, a smile gracing her lips. Young master, sorry for the wait. I was gathering a few things in my room, so I was a little delayed. Lai glared at her, his voice sharp. You got what you wanted. Why are you back? A system notification appeared before Neem. causing a flicker of worry. Warning, warning. Target's mood swing detected. Seeing in Lee's furious expression, Neem's heart sank. Target's mood swing. Is he angry? But when I left, suddenly, realization dawned. Oh, she quickly held out the jade pendant to Enlai. Young master, Lun Noyet my stole your jade Buddha. I retrieved it for you and chased her away. Young master, you chased her away. Enlai stared at the jade pendant in his hand, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. Did I misunderstand her? A wave of sadness washed over him as he looked at her. After my spiritual root was destroyed, I couldn't even defeat the lowest-ranking servant in the sect. Even though I knew my servants were stealing from me, I could only pretend not to notice. In such a vast sect, I had no one to rely on. And this woman, she secretly sought justice for me. He murmured softly, no. A system notification appeared. Favorability plus 10. Favorability plus 10. Favorability plus 10. Favorability plus 30. Plus 300 points. Current favorability minus 6. Total points 300. Neem breathed a sigh of relief. It seems everything is all right now. She quickly spread out a soft blanket and said cheerfully, Young master, you have injuries and it's not convenient for you to be alone. I brought my things here. How about we sleep together tonight? A flicker of apprehension crossed in Lee's face. The dim light of the room flickered across his features. All right, let's sleep. A while later, Neem was fast asleep. Enlai lay awake, worry gnawing at him. Is my head filled with water? Why did I agree to let her sleep with me? A shiver ran through him. So cold. Even the wounds on his body seemed to ache more intensely. He turned over, a painful cough racking his body. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. The sound of his coughing roused Neem from her sleep. She asked sleepily, Young master, what's wrong? Can't you sleep? Enlai replied coldly. It's nothing. Go back to sleep. Neem gently placed her hand on his forehead, feeling for his temperature. And Lee's voice sounds weak. Could he be cold? Alarm jolted through Neem. She sat up abruptly. System, are you there? Enlai is sick. Do you have any cold medicine? The system yawned briefly and replied, Yes, host, I'm here. You can use 300 points to exchange for a bottle of warm flower dew. Drinking it will have an immediate effect. Neem hurriedly said, Okay, exchange for a bottle. The system reminded, Host, withdrawing warm flower dew requires 300 points, which is very expensive. After the exchange, your points will return to 0. Without a second thought, Neem quickly replied, Exchange it quickly. I want the warm flower dew. After obtaining the medicine, Neem hurriedly fed it to Enlai. Young master, be good and drink the medicine. You'll feel better soon. Enlai gently drank the medicine. Neem gently checked his temperature. She breathed a sigh of relief. His fever has indeed gone down quite a bit. She lay down to sleep beside him. Sweet dreams, although unspoken. Enlai still felt Neem's care for him. His face flushed with embarrassment. That night, Enlai dreamt sorrowful dreams. He was locked in a secluded room, banging on the door relentlessly. He roared in frustration, Let me out. He cried and pleaded, Let me out. Senior brother, please, can you let me out? His senior brother said softly, I know I was wrong. So noisy. Don't you get tired of yelling every day? Another person standing beside him asked, This Jinx killed his own mother. Does he still want to go out and cause trouble for everyone? The senior brother replied, The sect leader crippled his spiritual root and confined him here. That's already showing great mercy. The other person chimed in, Let's go for a walk. We shouldn't stay here watching over him. Truly unlucky, Enlai wept in despair. He softly uttered, You're right. I don't want to be killed by him either. I didn't mean to harm mother. Father, son knows his mistake. Suddenly, strange figures appeared, startling Enlai. Laughter echoed in his ears. Ha 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 ha. Enlai asked fearfully, Who is it? Who's laughing? Voices gradually emerged. You Jinx. Without a spiritual root, you still dare to dream of going outside. It's all because of you that your mother died. You Jinx. Jinx. Enlai uncomfortably covered his ears. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Suddenly, his mother's voice called out, Lai Ni. Li Ni. Enlai turned around joyfully. Mother. But before him, his mother's face was filled with pain and sorrow. She called, Lai Ni. Enlai was stunned. Back in the present, jolted awake by the strange dream, Enlai sat up abruptly. Fear gripped his heart. Mother, it had all been a dream. Neem softly asked, Young master, are you awake? Neem approached and stroked his head. She gently asked, How did you sleep last night, young master? Enlai blushed and replied, Fine. In his heart, he thought, No, not fine. He clutched the blanket tightly. I haven't slept so peacefully since I was locked up here. Neem cheerfully said, "Young master, you must be hungry, right? I'll go get you some food." Enlai lightly tugged on her sleeve. Neem asked in surprise, "Young master, do you need anything else?" Enlai blushed, thinking to himself, "What the hell am I doing?" He coldly replied, "Nothing. You can go." Neem cheerfully said, "Okay, young master. Be good and wait here for me to come back." Enlai softly acknowledged. A moment later, Neem arrived at the kitchen. Seeing the meager and unappetizing food, she was taken aback. The young master usually only eats this. She thought to herself, Enlai is already frail, and he eats porridge every day. He must be so tired of it. No wonder he's so much smaller than other children his age. Another servant girl spoke loudly. "Well, what else do you expect? He's useless in this courtyard. You should be grateful he even gets to eat this swill. It's a blessing from 7 lifetimes. What more does he want?" The servant girl then turned to leave. "If there's nothing else, I'll be going." Neem asked curiously, "What's the rush?" The servant girl replied in surprise, "Don't tell me you don't know. Tomorrow is our young master's birthday. Isn't that a big deal that everyone knows about?" She continued excitedly. "The sect leader said that everyone who shows up tomorrow will get a red envelope with 500 spirit stones. 500 spirit stones. I have to go down the mountain today to buy some nice clothes for the birthday celebration." Neem said happily, "The sect leader has had a change of heart. He wants to celebrate our young master's birthday." The servant girl looked annoyed. "What do you mean, our young master? It's in young master's birthday." She curled her lip in disdain. Even though they share the same birthday, one is a dragon and phoenix in the sky, the other is mud on the ground. "You don't." Before she could finish her sentence, the servant girl received a resounding slap across the face from Neem. She sputtered, "Why did you hit me?" Neem's voice rose. "As a servant, you dare gossip about your masters. Shouldn't I hit you? Our young master may be living poorly now, but in the future, he will definitely become a great figure in the cultivation world, revered by all. I won't allow you to insult him here." The servant girl clutched her face in pain. As she left, she muttered, "You're crazy." Neem sighed. "It seems I can only let Enlai eat this for now." She felt a pang of sadness. "I don't remember where the original owner kept her spirit stones. It looks like I'll have to wait until next month's pay before I can buy Enlai some decent food." Suddenly, her eyes lit up. "That's right. There should be spirit beasts on this mountain. I can catch some spirit chickens and spirit ducks for Enlai to improve his meals." Seeing Neem return, Enlai peeked out from his room. She placed the food on the table and said, "Young master, breakfast is served." Seeing the food on the table, Enlai's face fell slightly. Neem thought to herself, Enlai must be feeling really down. She said gently, "Young master, eat this for now. I'll go into the forest later and catch some spirit chickens and spirit ducks to supplement your meal." Seeing Enlai remain silent, Neem felt a pang of sympathy. "I should go now. Seeing him like this is breaking my heart." Enlai's voice, louder than she expected, startled her. "The forest is too dangerous. Someone with low cultivation shouldn't go." Neem turned back, a flicker of joy in her heart. "My little Enlai is actually concerned about someone else." She gently stroked Enlai's head. "Don't worry, young master. I'll take good care of you. I won't let you suffer anymore." Enlai blushed. He mumbled, "I'm easy to take care of." Neem asked, surprised, "Huh? Young master, what are you saying?" Enlai said softly, "I'm easy to take care of. I'm not picky. I don't spend lavishly. I can survive on these scraps. If you don't like me losing my temper, I can. If you're afraid of me, I can. Just stay away from me. You don't need to serve me." Neem's face softened with a touch of sadness. "Ah, little Enlai, are you worried about me? He's afraid I'll leave him." She was taken back. Little Enlai is so adorable. She clearly remembered the book's description of him before his spirit root was crippled. Neem softly recounted the passage. He was a somewhat boisterous child, dressed in silks and fed delicacies. Although he liked to tease others, he was very polite. He was like a little son, especially fond of smiling at everyone. And he especially loved candied hawthorns. Enlai accepted the candied hawthorn, his eyes brightening considerably. "Many thanks, Neem," he added. "If I gave him a candied hawthorn, he would definitely smile at me and thank me. If I could become a god, I would definitely ensure my little Enlai is well fed, warmly clothed, and doesn't suffer a single hardship." Thinking of this, Neem gently wiped away a tear. She quickly comforted Enlai. "I came here for you, young master. I won't die until I see you ascend in your cultivation. So don't worry about me. I will always be by your side." Finishing her words, Neem lightly kissed Enlai's cheek. He mumbled, a little embarrassed, Neem Neem patted his head. She said cheerfully, "Young master, be a good boy and eat your breakfast. I'm going into the forest to catch some wild game. I'll be back soon." With that, Neem Neem quickly set off. Enlai blushed, thinking about her. That kiss. His heart seemed to flutter. Her lips were so soft and fragrant. He quietly watched her go. At that moment, the system announced, favorability level increased. Favorability level increased. A while later, Neem Neem arrived at a forest teeming with wild beasts. She thought wearily, "I've been walking for half a day. Why haven't I encountered a single spirit beast?" The system cheerfully announced, "Congratulations, host. Target's favorability has increased by 36 points, adding 3,060 points. Current favorability level, 30. Total points, 3,060. Niemiecki's spirits lifted." The favorability increased so much. "But what's with these accumulated points?" The system replied, "When the favorability level is positive, each increase in level multiplies the points gained by 10 compared to negative levels. New features have also been unlocked. Host can use points to increase cultivation level or enhance charm attributes." The system added, "Expend 3,000 accumulated points to raise cultivation level to golden core stage, or exchange for equivalent points for enhanced physical attributes like larger bust and hips." Neem Neem asked curiously, "Can I use accumulated points to exchange for medicine to rebuild a spirit root?" The system replied, "Apologies, these items are not available in the shop." Neem Neem thought to herself, "If I could help rebuild his spirit root, wouldn't Enli's life be much easier? All right, then use the accumulated points to increase my cultivation level." She reasoned internally, "Right now, the most important thing is to increase my strength to protect Enli and ensure no one dares to bully him anymore. As for becoming more beautiful, I can worry about that later." The system cheerfully announced, "Exchange successful. Host cultivation level has increased to golden core stage." Neem Neem's power surged. She casually waved her hand. Several large trees toppled over. Neem Neem was thrilled. "This is insanely awesome. This cultivation world is truly something else." The system scanned the surroundings. "Host, there's an injured spirit beast nearby." Hearing this, a look of surprise crossed Neem Neem's face. Before her was a small creature. Neem Neem softly murmured, "This is..." She observed its entirely black body, except for a ring of white fur around its right eye. The system's eyes widened. "With that appearance, it's clearly a young netherworld gloom owl." Neem Neem quickly replied, "Give me a bottle of healing medicine. Put half the accumulated points on my tab for now." She thought to herself, the netherworld gloom owl is a rare sacred beast. In the original story, the female lead, Tang Manyu, went to the underworld with the second and third male leads, spending a considerable amount of time just to capture it to absorb the essence of its gloom aura for her cultivation. And here I've stumbled upon it so early, injured no less. The system promptly provided Neem Neem with the medicine. This bottle of Supreme Clarity Jade can heal any injury. It costs 500 accumulated points. You currently owe me 440 points. Don't forget to pay me back." Neem Neem replied with enthusiasm. All right. Taking the medicine, she quickly gave it to the sacred beast. The sacred beast gradually absorbed the medicine. Then it opened its eyes and awoke. Niemiecki smiled. "It's awake. So cute." The sacred beast nuzzled against her affectionately. Neem Neem was overjoyed. "It's so clingy. Looks like those 500 accumulated points weren't wasted." Holding the sacred beast, Neem Neem said, "Little sacred beast, would you like to follow me from now on? If you're happy, chirp. I'll take that as a yes. You're so black and round, I'll call you Coalball." Neem Neem happily returned home. Meanwhile, Enli coughed softly. His face was slightly flushed. Hearing Neem Neem's footsteps, Enli startled. He forced a smile and turned around. Neem Neem returned with the sacred beast, not forgetting to bring along 2 piglets. Seeing this, Enli's face showed a hint of worry. Seeing Enli, the sacred beast's eyes widened in surprise. It quickly pounced on him. Enli blushed in embarrassment. Neem Neem quickly stopped it. "What are you doing, Coalball? Don't hurt the young master." Enli looked at the sacred beast and said, "So that's how it is. As you wish." The sacred beast perched happily on Enli's shoulder. He explained to Neem Neem, I'm fine. Its true identity is a netherworld gloom owl. Born in the underworld, it relies on absorbing misfortune to sustain its life. I have a calamitous constitution with densing energy, so letting it absorb some won't do any harm. Neem worriedly asked, will it harm the young master's body? He replied, no. Hearing his answer, she breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, that's good then. Amlai gently tugged on Neem's hand, blushing as he said, I've been waiting for you. She was rather hungry. Seeing his adorable demeanor, she happily thought, Enlai has made progress. He even knows how to ask for food now. A moment later, Neem went to roast the meat. Looking at the golden brown pig, she smiled and said, young master, the pig will be ready to eat in a bit. Enlai curiously asked, what's your name? Hearing this question, Neem felt a surge of joy. Enlai asked for my name. As he finally let down his guard around me, she happily replied, I'm Jiang Neem. Young master can just call me Neem. Enlai looked at his pet and pondered Neem. He kept glancing at her. She's clearly not the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, but that smile she just gave, I found it very captivating. The system cheerfully announced, target's favorability increased by 10 points, adding 1,000 points. Host, the 400-plus points you owed this morning for the Supreme Clarity Jade do have been automatically deducted. Current favorability level, 40. Total points, 560. While carrying a plate of steaming hot pork, Neem muttered, complaining about the system. Stupid system, such a penny pincher. She handed the pork to young master Enlai. I purposely picked the best piece for you. Eat it while it's hot. Looking at the steaming plate of meat before him, Enlai thought, since I arrived here, I've never eaten meat. Even if I had a little, those servant girls would quickly snatch it away. He looked at Neem and thought further. She's so good to me, letting me taste sweetness once more, making me feel attached to this world. But what if, one day in the future, she also wants to leave me? What should I do then? Seeing Enli's dejected expression, Neem sadly asked, young master, why aren't you eating? Don't you like it? Enlai softly replied, it's not that I don't like it. He sadly asked, what if, one day, you abandon me? Niemiecki suddenly fought. This is it. She quickly extended her pinky finger. Then, she said to Enlai, I will forever stay by young master's side. Unless young master doesn't need me, then I will leave. Young master, shall we make a pinky promise? Enlai blushed. But in the end, he linked pinkies with Neem. He shyly replied, innocently, wiggle. The promise will never change. Enli's cheeks flushed like ripe tomatoes. Neem pushed the plate of meat closer to him. She said, all right, young master, are you reassured now? Eat quickly. The meat won't be as good when it's cold. I worked hard to make this, you know. She curiously asked, do you want me to feed you, young master? Enlai hurriedly took the plate of meat. No need, he said, chewing quickly, not leaving a single crumb. Neem smiled and reminded him, eat slowly. There's still plenty. If it's not enough, I'll roast another one for you. An Epsilon softly replied, The next morning, as the sun brightly illuminated the village, some girls chatted amongst themselves. The gray-haired girl said, hurry up. Today is young master and C's birthday. The summit of Air Chu Mountain will be very lively. Oh, and I think I heard that Good for Nothing also has a birthday today. The black-haired girl replied, who cares about him? He's been on this back mountain for 2 years, and we haven't seen him celebrate a birthday. Let's hurry. I still need to get my 500 spirit stones as a gift. What are you so anxious about? The sect leader said everyone who goes gets a share. You won't miss out. Neem was sleeping in the room. She felt a pang of sadness hearing the unkind words of the 2 girls outside the bamboo house. This place really isn't soundproof at all. I'll have to rearrange things later when I have the chance. She gently tucked Enli's blanket around his feet. It's good that Enli hasn't woken up yet. Let him sleep a little longer. She looked at him and smiled. I'll wait until I return from Air Chu Peak after finishing my task. Then I'll personally tell him happy birthday. Neem quickly left. As soon as she closed the door, Enli woke up. He frowned, thinking, is she going to attend his birthday party too? Has she forgotten that today is also my birthday? Enli's hands trembled slightly. Lies. His face filled with resentment, saying she'll stay by my side for life, never leave me. It's all fake. Although he didn't understand the whole story yet, Enli was certain. I won't give her another chance. When she returns, I'll definitely chase her away. Scene change. Morning at the Lucky Qilin Palace. Inside the palace, countless people were dressed in extravagant attire. Neem looked around. She thought, so this is N's birthday banquet. It really is lively, so many people. The book said that the magnificent holy monarch Shinsong would also attend the banquet. But which one is he? She scanned the crowd, searching for the highly skilled healer Shinsong. He's proficient in treating spiritual roots. I must find him. No matter the method, I must save and lie. At that moment, an old man offered Neem a red envelope. Young lady, he said, you haven't received a red envelope yet, have you? These 500 spirit stones are for you. Today is a joyous occasion. Everyone gets a share. Neem accepted it shyly. Thank you, she murmured. Suddenly, a voice rang out, startling her. Holy Monarch Fu Hua has arrived. Seeing him appear, Neem thought to herself, he's Holy Monarch Fu Hua, Shan Kuei. She pondered, I must find a way to attract his attention. She quickly devised a plan. Neem pretended to have a stomachache and dramatically collapsed onto the floor. Ow, it hurts, she groaned. Curious onlookers nearby asked, what's wrong with this young lady? Shan Kuei intervened. What happened? He asked. Neem softly replied, my stomach hurts. It hurts so much. Seemingly aware of her charade, Shan Kuei frowned. He curled his lip and said in a raised voice, whose servant girl are you? You have quite the nerve. How dare you feign illness? Neem felt a flicker of worry. It seems Holy Monarch Shan Kuei truly possesses exceptional medical skills. He saw through my act in an instant. Shan Kuei's loud voice caused a stir, but the crowd quickly dispersed, eager to avoid his displeasure. Neem hastily grabbed his leg. Wait, Holy Monarch, please wait. He frowned, his expression showing annoyance. What are you doing? Neem replied, I've long heard of your extraordinary prowess, Holy Monarch, and your refined medical skills. In this world, you're second to none. Seeing you today, I realize your reputation is well-deserved. Shan Kuei furrowed his brow. What are you trying to say? Neem quickly pleaded, I didn't intend to offend you, Holy Monarch. It's just that meeting you is a rare opportunity, so I had to resort to this tactic. They say you are well-versed in medicine, especially skilled in treating spiritual roots. She added tearfully, to be honest, my young master in Lai has had his spiritual roots crippled for 2 years. He suffers from constant illness and pain, living a life worse than death. I implore you, Holy Monarch, to treat him. Shan Kuei replied softly, I can heal anyone in this world, except him. Neem continued to plead. Why? They say a healer has a benevolent heart. Just because my young master lacks the proper destiny, will you stand by and watch him die? He's still a child. Shan Kuei quickly brushed her hand away. Lie, I absolutely cannot treat him. Neem asked in anguish why. Why won't you save him? Shan Kuei didn't answer and walked away. Neem thought despairingly. The book said his spiritual roots could only be restored after meeting the female lead, Tang Manyu. But that's still 16 years away. Do I really have to let Lai endure 16 years of hellish suffering? She gently wiped away the tears streaming down her face and left. Since this path is blocked, I'll find another way. She quickly stood up and departed. Lai is still waiting for me at home. I must hurry back and celebrate his birthday with him. Meanwhile, Lai sat dejectedly in a corner of the house. Seeing him, Neem called out cheerfully, Young master. When she inquired, Lai avoided her gaze. Young master, why are you sitting here? She thought to herself, he must have thought I abandoned him because I was gone all day. I need to coax him quickly. Neem smiled and said, Young master, I was wrong. Look, these 500 spirit stones can buy you a new set of clothes. Lai angrily brushed her hand away, letting the spirit stones fall to the ground. Liar, he accused. Neem was stunned. Lai looked at her, the corners of his eyes slightly raised, his crimson pupils filled with a gloomy darkness, like a hellish volcano about to erupt, brimming with tears. Li's eyelashes trembled. No tears fell, but his throat began to constrict. You said you wouldn't leave me. You said you'd always be by my side. But today is my birthday. Why? Why did you abandon me? Favorability, -20. Penalty, -200 points. Current favorability, 20. Total points, 360. Isn't Lai angry because I forgot his birthday and went to someone else's? Doubt flickered in Li's eyes. Resentment and the unbearable pain of being abandoned by the whole world welled up within him. Neem Neem crouched down, her eyes level with Enli's. Young master, she began, it's not what you think. Enli had been about to drive her away, his mind racing with 1,000 venomous words. But seeing her pained expression, he suddenly found himself speechless. All that remained was a dull ache and a strange warmth in his chest. Today, I went to Erchu Mountain. It was only because I thought Holy Monarch Fu Hua would be there. I wanted to persuade him to heal your spiritual roots. And Li's voice rose. You also think I'm trash. You also despise me like the others, don't you? He pushed Neem Neem away slightly. Yes, I am useless. I am without a spirit core. I'll never need you. Get out. Suddenly, a look of surprise crossed Li's face. At that moment, Neem Neem pulled him into a tight embrace. Li blushed, his voice strained. Let go of me. Niemitski spoke softly. Young master, let me explain. Inwardly, she fumed. I rack my brains to make his life a little better, and he twists everything. Not only does he make malicious assumptions, but he wants to drive me away. He's truly heartless. She continued, her voice gentle. I only want to help you heal your spiritual roots. It's only because I care about you, young master. Though your fate is tragic, you've never given up. If it were me, I would have given up long ago. She added firmly, therefore, I will never despise you, young master. And Li's anger seemed to dissipate. So, there is someone in this world who genuinely cares about me, loves me. He murmured, don't seek out Shun Koei. He won't heal me. Neem Neem asked curiously why. And Li sighed, no one in this sect can tolerate me. He's the same. Neem Neem asked sadly, but besides him, is there anyone else who can heal spiritual roots? And Li shook his head. No. Neem Neem clenched her fists, her voice filled with determination. Then I'll find another way to heal your spiritual roots. You can tell me no to anything else, young master, but not this. No. And Li exclaimed, you're so stubborn. Fine, do as you please. She gently cupped his face. Come on, young master, don't be angry. Smile a little. She poked his nose and grinned. You're like a little old man. And Li, secretly pleased, still protested. You're the little old man. Your whole family are little old men. Niemitski laughed delightedly. All right, I am. And Li's eyes softened. Niemitski. He leaned into her embrace, hugging her tightly. Will you abandon me later? Neem Neem's voice was soft. I promise. I will never leave you alone again, young master. And Li declared, you promised. If you break your promise, I'll definitely kill you. Neem Neem lightly tapped his head. Such nonsense. Talking about killing and dying at such a young age. He replied, ow. Suddenly, fireworks erupted out of nowhere. Glittering lights sparkled across the sky. Neem Neem said, all right, they're celebrating young master's birthday. She smiled. Happy birthday, young master. And Li gave a small smile. Neem Neem added, I heard that on birthdays the gods grant wishes. Do you have any wishes, young master? Although a little embarrassed, Li blurted out, Neem Neem, you must always stay by my side. She smiled and replied, okay. Inwardly, she thought, with that expression, doesn't Li not believe me? And Li's face was slightly furrowed. Neem Neem reassured him, don't worry, young master. If I promise to stay by your side, then I definitely won't leave. And Li hugged her tightly again. At this moment, the system announced, favorability plus 35 points, plus 3,500. Current favorability, 55. Total points, 3860. Neem Neem hugged him back happily, thinking these past few days, Li has been showing his emotions more. Unlike before, when he kept everything bottled up. If this continues, perhaps he won't become a blood-soaked villain. With those dark thoughts, she softly called, young master. Li, blushing, replied, it's all your fault for coming back so late. I didn't even get to eat a good meal. Neem Neem was secretly delighted. He's so worked up, he's adorable. She quickly stood up. It's all my fault. There's still some noodles in the kitchen. Let me cook you a bowl. Li softly replied. The spirit beast happily ran after her. Just then, Li grabbed its tail. He raised his voice, no, you're not allowed to cuddle with her. Do you hear me? And Li's threatening frown made the spirit beast tremble. Otherwise, I'll break your legs. It whimpered unhappily. A short while later, a delicious meal was laid out on the table. Neem Neem reminded him, young master, the noodles are ready. Eat them while they're hot. And Li ate happily. Niemitski chuckled. You seem to be enjoying it, young master. Neem Neem offered a piece to the spirit beast. Here, coal ball. Come here, let me feed you. It narrowed its eyes. Seeing this, Neem asked worriedly, Coldball, what's wrong? Unlai said it's hot. He felt a pang of jealousy. Why does Neem want to feed it but not me? Seeing his angry face, the spirit beast trembled and started eating by itself. Neem was puzzled. Coldball, do you prefer eating on your own now? Unlai muttered under his breath, consider it wise. Neem said, oh right, young master. Tomorrow, I'm going to Hunter Weapons Peak. Unlai furrowed his brow. She's leaving again. Neem sighed. All the weapons in the sect come from Hunter Weapons Peak. I'm going to buy a sword. Otherwise, going up and down the mountain every day is really tiring and slow. If I have a flying sword, I can travel faster and return to you sooner, young master. Unlai was secretly pleased, so that's why. He reminded her, come back early. Neem replied, A moment later, at the sword shop, the owner presented a sharp sword and asked, young lady, are you looking to buy a weapon? Neem replied, I'd like to buy a sword. The owner gestured towards several swords. Here, young lady, take a look. See which one you like. Neem's eyes widened in surprise. Wow, there's so many kinds of swords. Suddenly, a voice rang out, causing Neem to turn around. What are you doing here? The shop owner bowed in greeting to Senior Brother G. Looking at his scowling face, Neem thought, isn't this the one who bullied Unlai a few days ago? Why is he here? G-Fan raised an eyebrow and asked, hey, what are you doing here? Neem retorted, I'm at a weapons shop. Of course I'm here to buy weapons. What? Did you think I was here to buy meat? Such a stupid question. He gave a brazen smile. You, a mere foundation establishment cultivator, can't even hold a sword properly. What do you need a weapon for? Don't tell me you're buying a sword. To go back and protect that little cripple. Hearing his foul words, Neem glared. She swiftly kicked G-Fan in the stomach, making him cry out. Neem followed up with another blow, sending him sprawling. She challenged him, dare to insult my young master. I can send you to the heavens right now. G-Fan wiped a bead of sweat from his cheek and angrily retorted, you dare hit me, you bitch. I'll kill you. With that, he lunged at Neem, but she nimbly dodged his attack. Neem landed another kick, this time between his legs. G-Fan howled in pain, mother. He writhed on the floor, groaning, ow, it hurts. Just then, a voice rang out, causing both of them to turn. Stop. Seeing his master arrive, G-Fan felt a surge of relief, practically weeping with joy. Master, you're here. He hurriedly reported, Master, this servant girl is outrageous. She suddenly attacked and injured your disciple. His master barked, don't you stand there and embellish. I just saw you trying to hit this young lady. Now you're twisting the story. Neem was a little stunned. She thought, Master, could he be true monarch Nanhua, Gui Feng? Judging by his demeanor, he doesn't seem unreasonable. The master approached Neem and cheerfully asked, young lady, what's your name? Neem softly replied, my name is Jiang Neem. You can just call me Neem. He patted her shoulder reassuringly. Neem, such a lovely name. Unlike my newborn son, I still haven't thought of a name for him. My hair's about to turn white from worrying. Neem pondered. Rumor has it that true monarch Nanhua is crude and uncultured, only interested in researching weapons. But because of his straightforward nature, he's close friends with holy monarch Fu Hua, Shun Song. If I can use him. She gently offered, true monarch, why don't I try giving your son a name? G-Fan scowled and interjected, just based on an uncultured, low-class servant girl like you. What kind of name could you possibly come up with? Master, don't let her trick you. The master roared, shut your mouth. Go copy the disciple's scripture 10 times for me. He turned to Neem. Young lady, don't listen to my disciple's nonsense. Ignore him. Neem furrowed her brow and replied, how about Ming Chong? She quickly explained, taken from the Ming-Pian River, it implies independence and intelligence beyond compare. It also carries the meaning of becoming a powerful weapon. The master beamed. Excellent. What a wonderful name. He expressed his gratitude enthusiastically. Thank you, young lady. From now on, I owe you a favor. If you need anything, just tell me. I will definitely help. G-Fan whined, Master, am I your disciple? Or is she? Neem felt a little embarrassed. She confessed, actually, there is something I'd like to ask for your help with, true monarch. He curiously inquired, tell me about it. Neem leaned close to true monarch Nanhua's ear and replied, a few days ago, I wanted to ask holy monarch Fu Hua for a favor, but he refused. I'd like to ask how I can speak with him again. The true monarch stroked his beard thoughtfully. Shinkui, besides healing and saving people, he loves most to chat about herbs and flowers. He added cheerfully, like some rare flowers that are difficult to keep alive. Many die each year. If you can help him solve this problem, he'll definitely help you with anything you ask. Neem clasped her hands and bowed. Many thanks for your assistance, true monarch. He waved his hand dismissively. Such a small matter. It's nothing. Don't stand on ceremony with me. A short while later, Neem had acquired a fine sword. As she walked, she thought, true monarch Nanhua is truly generous. Before I left, he even gifted me a sword as compensation. This sword looks extraordinary. Meanwhile, Enlai was engrossed in a book. The small spirit beast beside him played cheerfully. Meow, meow, meow. Woof, 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 squawk, squawk. Suddenly, Enli's eyes flickered to the left. Seeing Neem return, his face lit up. Neem, you're back, she softly replied. Inwardly, she rejoiced. It seems young master is very happy to see me. She asked curiously, young master, did you have a good meal today? Enlai grasped her hand. He murmured yes. She added a question that made Enlai blush. Young master, were you outside waiting for me? Did you miss me very much? He feigned denial. No. Niemitsky chuckled softly. Enlai, flustered, said loudly, no, I didn't. She smiled and said, all right, if our young master says he didn't, then he didn't. Enlai grumbled, humph. Later that night, he softly called Neem. She answered gently, what is it, young master? Enlai lay beside her. He asked sadly, Neem, do you despise me? I have no cultivation, and my body is weak. I only cause you trouble. He continued melancholically, I can't do anything now. I can only let you take care of me. You work so hard, and I can't help it all. Every day, I can only stay in the bamboo courtyard, waiting for you to return. Neem's heart swelled with emotion. Even when Enlai blames himself, he's adorable. She turned to face him and replied, I cherish young master dearly. How could I despise you? Enlai blushed. He whispered, urging her closer, Neem, you're so far away. How can I feel your warmth? Come closer. Niemitsky smiled happily. All right. He gazed at her adoringly and asked, can I hold you while we sleep? Without a moment's hesitation, Neem replied, yes. She gently embraced him. Neem thought, Enlai is starting to become clingy. She said softly, young master, go to sleep. I'll always be by your side. In the middle of the night, Enlai gently poked Neem's cheek. So soft. Neem is so soft. She slept soundly. Young master. Enlai held Neem tightly, refusing to let go. System announcement. Favorability plus 10 points, plus 1,000. Current favorability, 65. Total points, 4,860. The next morning, Neem flew on her sword to find Shun Kuei's residence. The system followed along. Host, Shun Kuei's Medicine King Valley is just ahead. Neem declared, let's go. This time, I must get him to agree to heal Enli's spiritual roots. Moments later, she arrived at the valley. Seeing Niemitsky arrive, Shen Kuei frowned. Why is it you again? He quickly started to close the door. Neem pleaded, Holy Monarch, wait a moment. I heard that many precious medicinal plants die in Medicine King Valley every year. I have a way to change the situation. Shen Kuei furrowed his brow and retorted, no reward without merit. What do you want? Neem spoke softly. It's about the previous matter. I want to ask you to heal my young master's spiritual roots. Hearing about Enli's condition, Shun Kuei hastily refused. I won't help you. Go away. Suddenly, a servant girl's voice rang out. Holy Monarch, it's not good. Shen Kuei asked curiously what happened. The servant girl replied, Holy Monarch, the purple soul essence flower at the back of the mountain is about to wither. Shen Kuei couldn't help but be taken aback. What? Again? Niemitsky exclaimed excitedly. I can save it, Holy Monarch. Let me try. Shen Kuei's face was full of disbelief. You can save it. Niemitsky replied confidently. I can. He instructed, then follow me. If you can save the purple soul essence flower, I'll agree to your request. Neem happily followed behind. A moment later, Shun Kuei called out, save it. Neem looked at the withered flower, a worried expression on her face. This medicinal plant looks completely dried up. How can it possibly be saved? Shen Kuei urged again, can you save it or not? Niemitsky smiled faintly. Of course I can. Inwardly, she thought, system, come out and help me. The system promptly appeared. Host, you are a single wood element spiritual root. Activating your spiritual root requires 1,800 accumulated points. There's a chance of saving this plant. Neem declared resolutely. All right, let's increase my cultivation. The system replied, activating Easy Soul, deducting 1,800 points. Remaining points, 2,060. At this moment, Neem Neem felt a sharp pain in her head. She groaned loudly. Seeing Neem Neem falter, Shunkaway caught her and asked, "What's wrong with you?" She breathed heavily, exhausted. He quickly checked her pulse, his face etched with astonishment. "You're a top grade with spiritual root. Niemiecki, stert awake." "Thank you, Holy Monarch. I just felt a little tired. I'm fine now." Neem Neem focused her power and looked at the flower before her. She thought to herself, how embarrassing. Why did I faint at a time like this? Shunkaway is so handsome today. I can't tell him I fainted because he's too handsome, though. She faintly heard the flower's voice. "SOB that IT hurts so much. Can someone save me? My body is full of impurities. If this continues, I'll die." Neem Neem was startled. So that's what it is. She quickly reached out and began to heal the flower. A moment later, the withered flower regained its vibrancy. Shunkaway was utterly astonished. "I never thought this woman's wood elemental magic talent would be so high." Neem Neem suggested cheerfully, "Holy Monarch, I've saved the purple soul essence flower. Now, please heal my young master's spiritual roots." Shunkaway replied, "I made a promise to you, and I always keep my promises. However, you must not tell anyone about me healing and Lee's spiritual roots." Neem Neem softly assured him, "Of course. Now, Holy Monarch, please come with me." He frowned slightly and agreed. All right. A short while later, the two arrived at the bamboo courtyard. Neem Neem began, "Holy Monarch, let me tell you, the people in the sect are prejudiced against my young master. In reality, my young master is a very good person. He never wastes food and never loses his composure. Even though he's been tormented by illness all year round, he always endures it silently." Sutenni, alea flantet on sen guitseat. Neem Neem pointed it out. "Wait a moment, Holy Monarch. There's a leaf on your head. Is it the leaf that he accidentally picked up while walking through the valley just now?" He wondered. "Where?" he asked. Neem Neem replied cheerfully, "Let me get it for you." Senqui blushetslichtli. Huh. As Neem Neem reached up to brush the leaf from Shunkaway's hair, and Lee's voice rang out, sharp with accusation. "What are you doing?" Seeing the resentment etched on his face, Neem Neem softly called out, "Young master." A wave of bewilderment washed over her. "That's strange. Why do I feel so guilty? I haven't done anything wrong." And Lee's brow furrowed deeper. "Why are you back so late today?" he demanded. He pointed at Shunkaway. "And you're not welcome here." Even Coalball and Lee's spirit beast joined in the fray with a series of warning growls. Now, Neem Neem quickly tried to soothe and lie. "Young master, he's Holy Monarch Shunkaway. He's here to help heal your spiritual roots. You can't be so rude." And Lai remained unconvinced. "Why are you talking to him like that?" he retorted, his voice rising and smiling at him. "You promised you would only smile at me. You flirt." Neem Neem was utterly flustered. "Flirt? Young master, that's not how you use that word. Be good, you mustn't say such things." Ignoring her pleas, Anlai swatted her hand away and stormed off. Coalball followed close behind, whimpering. "Young master," Neem Neem called out anxiously. The system notification chimed. Target character experiencing significant emotional fluctuation. Favorability decreased by 15 points. Total decrease, 150. Current favorability, 50/1910. Neem Neem's face fell. What now? How am I supposed to coax him back this time? And Lai tossed and turned in his bed, his thoughts a whirlwind of frustration. This is so irritating. Why am I so upset? The image of Neem smiling at Shunkaway flashed through his mind. Just the thought of her smiling at someone else like that, it bothers me so much. It's all Neem Neem's fault. She's the one interacting with another man. Such a shameless woman. How dare she get so close to another man? He thrashed about, his agitation growing. Just then, Neem Neem entered the room. "Young master." She walked straight over to him and gently patted his backside through the blankets. Anlai bolted upright, his face flushed crimson. "You," he roared. Neem Neem softly stroked his hair. "Young master, I asked Holy Monarch Shunkaway to examine you, to see if he can heal your spiritual roots. I had to beg him for a long time before he agreed to come down the mountain." Anlai stubbornly mumbled, "Who told you to beg him? It's up to him whether he wants to or not." Asking for favors. Shunkaway then forcefully grabbed Anlai. "Holy Monarch, how is my young master's condition?" Shunkaway shook his head. "His spiritual roots are severely damaged. Recovery won't be easy. Even if it's possible, it will take a long time. Neem Neem's brow furrowed with worry. So it's not easy, but not impossible, right? It depends on his fate, Shun Kuei replied. First, we need a 1,000-year-old Tai Sui root to nourish his core. Then, we need a nascent soul cultivator to channel spiritual energy into him daily to heal the damage. Even then, I can't guarantee success. Hearing a glimmer of hope, Neem Neem declared with determination, as long as there's a chance, we have to try. Shun Kuei responded, do you think it's that simple? A 1,000-year-old Tai Sui root isn't like ordinary herbs. It's a living creature. Don't expect to find one easily in the mountains. Moreover, channeling spiritual energy daily takes a heavy toll on a cultivator's body. Not many would be willing to help. Hearing the daunting task ahead, Alai gently grasped Neem Neem's wrist. Neem Neem, let it go. Seeing his despair, she gently stroked his hair and offered comforting words. Don't worry, young master. Thought there must be a way. Then, with unwavering certainty, she declared, Holy Monarch, just tell me what the 1,000-year Tai Sui looks like. I'll find it. As for the daily spiritual energy transfer, I'll handle that myself once my cultivation reaches the nascent soul stage. Shun Kuei stared at her in astonishment. You would do that? And Lai, too, was taken aback. Neem Neem calmly replied, my cultivation exists solely to protect young master. If I can't even do this much, then what use is my cultivation? I never thought you were such a courageous woman. Shun Kuei murmured, a hint of admiration in his voice. Very well, he continued. I'll tell you. Ancient texts describe the 1,000-year Tai Sui as having flesh resembling meat clinging to a large rock. Its head and tail are real. It is a living creature. Neem Neem closed her eyes, focusing her senses, and repeated, flesh resembling meat clinging to a large rock. As if summoned by her focused intent, the Tai Sui suddenly appeared at the doorway. Shun Kuei, stunned, exclaimed, that's the 1,000-year Tai Sui. The 1,000-year Tai Sui actually came on its own. I never imagined this woman possessed such powerful control over plants. Jiang Neem Neem, your aptitude might be even more exceptional than I thought. Noticing his intense gaze, Neem Neem thought to herself, did Holy Monarch Shun Kuei just smile at me? It wasn't mocking or sarcastic. The book said he never shows a kind smile to anyone outside of the female lead. But he just smiled at me. This is truly bizarre. Shun Kuei cleared his throat, breaking the silence. I'll take this 1,000-year Tai Sui back to refine it into medicine. I'll give it to you tomorrow. Holy Monarch, I'll see you out. Before she could finish her sentence, Anlai interrupted with a cough. Cough, cough, cough. Neem Neem, I feel unwell. Alarmed, Neem Neem rushed to his side and touched his forehead. Where does it hurt? Could it be that your fever hasn't subsided yet? Anlai coughed again. Cough, cough, cough. Sitting beside Anlai, Neem Neem addressed Shun Kuei. Holy Monarch, please excuse us. I can't see you out right now. As Shun Kuei departed, a satisfied smile crept onto Enli's face. He then leaned against Neem Neem's leg, feigning weakness. Neem Neem, my wound hurts. I'll get you some medicine, young master. Enli quickly grabbed her sleeve. No medicine. Just hold me for a while, and I'll feel better. All right, I'll hold you, young master. Enli happily embraced Neem Neem, thinking to himself, I don't know why, but seeing Neem Neem smile at someone else makes me so angry. But if I get angry with her over this, our relationship will only become strained. I don't want her to hate me. I used to hate it when people pitted me, but now it's different. Seeing her worried and distressed for me makes me happy. I can't let anyone take Neem Neem away from me. Even if I have to feign weakness or cry and beg, I'll do it. Neem Neem, I don't care what it takes. As long as I can keep you by my side, I'm willing to do anything. At that moment, a system notification appeared. Favorability increased by 25 points. Total increase, 2,500. Current favorability, 75/4410. Later that night, as they lay in bed together, Neem Neem pondered, Holy Monarch Shun Kuei said we also need a nascent soul cultivator to help heal Enli's spiritual roots. If I want to reach the nascent soul stage quickly, I need to gather 5,500 accumulation points. I'm sorry, Enli, but for these points, I'll have to take advantage of you. She suddenly sat up and called out, young master. Enli turned over and replied, are you still awake? Not yet, she said. It's too cold to sleep. Then can I hold young master while we sleep? Hearing this, Enli's face flushed with delight. Do you feel a little warmer now? Enli asked contentedly, nestled in her arms. Neem Neem, you're so warm. He declared innocently, I want to be with Neem Neem all the time now, too. Seeing him like this, Neem Neem felt a surge of emotion. Just a few days ago, I taught him Lai this. He's already learned it. He's truly exceeding all cuteness standards. I'm about to be overwhelmed by his adorableness. Oh, and Lai, she murmured, gently stroking his cheek. Young master, a boy has to protect himself when he's out in the world, you know? And Lai is too pure. I have to remind him carefully. He obediently nodded, his face still flushed. Besides being with Neem Neem, I won't let anyone else near me. Just then, the system notification appeared. Favorability increased by 5 points. Total increase, 500. Current favorability, 80/4910. Seeing the notification, Neem Neem felt a thrill of satisfaction. This tactic is really working. She continued her charm, offensive cheerfully. Our young master is so handsome, just like a little celestial boy from a storybook. When you grow up, you'll definitely capture the hearts of many girls. Hearing this, he nuzzled closer, burying his face in her embrace, and replied with a hint of a Wei-Chu, grievance/feeling wronged. I don't need anyone else. I only need Neem Neem. Immediately, another system notification popped up. Favorability increased by 3 points. Total increase, 300. Current favorability, 83/5210. She looked at him and softly asked, Young master, we're the most well-behaved children. Does Neem Neem like well-behaved children? She smiled gently and replied, As long as it's young master, I like you no matter what. MHM. He hugged her tightly, a look of deep contentment on his face. Favorability immediately began to increase continuously. Favorability increased by 1. Favorability increased by 1. Host has successfully leveled up to Nascent Soul, deducting 5,500 points. Current favorability, 89/310. Half a month passed. Holy Monarch Shun Kuei examined and Li's pulse again. I originally thought it would take at least 5 months for his spiritual roots to show significant improvement. I never imagined that after just half a month, his spiritual roots would be completely healed. I've never seen such a rapid recovery. Hearing this, Neem Neem spoke with joy. Many thanks to Holy Monarch for your assistance. However, in a few days, it will be the day the sect draws blood from its disciples. They will definitely discover that young master's spiritual roots have been healed. As she spoke, a worried frown creased her brow. She gently stroked Li's head. Seeing this, Li also looked downcast. Neem Neem, Holy Monarch Shun Kuei spoke up. I was planning to discuss this matter today. If he wants to cultivate in the future, he will inevitably attract the attention of the sect. Why don't you leave this place? Hearing this, Neem Neem asked, Does Holy Monarch have a good place in mind? He furrowed his brows and immediately said, The Gui Yuan Formation. The Gui Yuan Formation is an ancient artifact. It traps myriad beasts within. It is extremely dangerous, but if one can survive within it, their cultivation will undoubtedly reach the peak of creation. Hearing this, Neem Neem immediately cried out, No, that's too dangerous for young master. Suddenly, Enlai tugged on her sleeve. Niemitski, I want to go. She was surprised by his words. She stroked his head and comforted him. No, young master. This is too dangerous. Neem Neem, I don't want to be a cripple for the rest of my life. Hearing him say this, her heart ached. Young master, she then voiced her concerns. But if we leave, the sect will definitely find out. Holy Monarch Shun Kuei stated directly, if he dies, naturally no one will suspect anything. Neem Neem was shocked. Holy Monarch, do you mean to have young master feign his death? Precisely. Confused, she asked, but Holy Monarch, why are you helping us like this? Holy Monarch Shun Kuei replied calmly. His spiritual roots were just healed, and now they're going to be crippled again. Wouldn't that just make more work for me? Besides, I'm not doing this without conditions. Rare and wondrous herbs are countless within the Gui Yuan Formation. When you leave, take this book with you. He presented her with a book. If you encounter any of the herbs listed within, pick them and bring them back to me. How about that? Neem Neem happily took the book and agreed. All right, if I can make it out, I will definitely bring them back for Holy Monarch. Not long after, Li's feigned death was staged. Neem Neem wept theatrically beside his coffin. My young master, you're still so young. How could you leave so soon? My young master, you're still so young. How could you leave so soon? The white-haired one sends off the black-haired one. My young master. At this moment, Enruo Su and Li's father and the sect leader spoke up. Holy Monarch Shun Kuei, what is the situation? Shun Kuei replied respectfully. Sect leader, I have already examined the body. He is indeed deceased. Please accept my condolences. Hearing this, Enruo Su turned and walked away. Everyone has their fate. Clean up today. Tomorrow, he will be buried at the foot of the mountain. Seeing his indifference, Nim felt a surge of hatred. I remember the book saying that all disciples, unless they committed grave errors, are to be buried in the sect's designated Azure Crane Mausoleum. But Enruo Su is so heartless. He would rather bury his own son at the foot of the mountain than allow him to rest in the Azure Crane Mausoleum. Just how much did he not want to see him lie? She continued to wail, young master, take me with you. I don't want to live anymore. Seeing her outburst, Shun Kuei spoke up. They've left. Hearing this, Nim instantly recovered her composure. Oh, at this point, Enlai also sat up. Cough, cough. Young master, I gave you the map to the Gui Yuan formation yesterday. Follow it, and you'll arrive quickly. Nim happily picked Enlai up and replied, I will definitely repay your kindness in the future, Holy Monarch. Farewell for now. We shall meet again someday. Shun Kuei frowned slightly, a hint of worry in his voice. Just worry about surviving first. She smiled brightly at Enlai. Young master, are you ready to go? Enlai replied contentedly, hugging her tightly. The streets of Peach Blossom City bustled with activity. Delicious candied hawthorns. Candied hawthorns here. Hot buns. Freshly baked hot buns. Nim and Enlai quickly appeared amidst the crowd. She cheerfully handed Enlai the candied hawthorn. Young master, here. Enlai offered it back to her. Nim, you eat first. Thank you, young master. She happily took a bite. He asked curiously, is it sweet? Yes, very sweet. Suddenly, Enlai spoke with a hint of melancholy. Nim, could you please not call me young master anymore? Hearing this, Nim was taken aback. Then what should I call you? After leaving the sect, Enlai is already dead. I don't want to be Enlai anymore. Seeing him like this, her heart ached. Li. He looked at her, his eyes brimming with tears. Nim, could you give me a new name? How about Buchi? Anbuji. Hearing this name, he seemed a little surprised. Anbuji. He embraced her joyfully. Yes, let's use that name. Any name Nim gives me is fine. Nim then lifted him up. Buchi, it's getting late. Let's find an inn to rest in first. He held her tightly, a look of contentment on his face. From now on, in this world, there is only in Buchi. Wherever Nim is, that is my destination. At this moment, his favorability rating increased again. Favorability plus 10 points, plus 1,000 overall. Current favorability, 99. Total points, 1,310. Looking at the map together, both wore expressions of doubt. The map clearly marked an inn nearby, but they'd been searching for so long and still hadn't found it. Suddenly, a cry for help rang out. Help me. Save me. Murder. Hearing this, Nim frowned. Someone's calling for help. What are you yelling about? Hurry up and give me the money. Even if you scream your lungs out today, no one will come to save you. Nim immediately walked towards the commotion. Ganging up on one person like this, isn't that a bit much? The group turned around, annoyed. Where did this idiot come from? Before they could finish their sentence, they saw her and their eyes widened in surprise. Where did this little beauty come from? One of them looked at her with undisguised lust. Hitting someone is considered excessive, but you're even more excessive. You struck my heart. His companion chuckled helplessly. Seeing their mockery, Buchi seethed with anger. These disgusting bastards. Nim is not some vegetable for these pigs to play with. Little beauty, let me show you some real affection. Just as his hand reached out to touch her, she snapped his wrist. If you can't control your hands, I'll control them for you. So you won't use these filthy hands to harm anyone else. Seeing this, his companion immediately charged forward. Boss, are you all right? You damn girl. Before he could reach her, droplets of blood splattered across his cheek. He stared at the small pieces in his hand, stunned. Hawthorn seeds. She snapped, now get lost. Terrified, they immediately fled. The young man who had been bullied also immediately got up and ran to grab her arm, crying, Fairy. There really are fairies in this world. You saved me. I will definitely repay you. And Buqi, filled with irritation, grabbed the young man by the throat and shoved him away. Don't come near her. He choked, gasping for air. Cough, cough, cough. Buqi released him. Get lost. He clutched his throat, coughing and wheezing. Cough, cough, cough. She then asked, what's your name? He replied excitedly, this young master is Zhao and Ming. My father is Zhao Shang. My family is very wealthy. I swear, if you follow me, my family's fortune will be yours. She was surprised. You're Zhao and Ming. Zhao and Ming. Isn't he one of Tang Mu Ru's harem members? Hearing her say his name, he scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. Fairy recognizes me. That's right. This young master is quite famous. Ha! Suddenly, the system announced, congratulations, host. Congratulations, host. You have successfully activated a hidden mission. Guide the female lead 7 men. 1. Holy Monarch Fu Hua, highly skilled in medicine, sharp-tongued and venomous. 2. Northern Wolf King Xianyi, highly skilled in martial arts, always in love with his younger sister. 3. Shun Yang Zhenrun, elegant and refined, inheriting his family's legacy, possessing the aura of a male lead. Next is the person before you, Zhao and Ming, rich young master, delusional due to his wealth. Then there's Gu King Miao Yu, extremely handsome but also extremely crazy, specializing in witchcraft. Next is Demon Lord Yi Lin Yuan, incredibly beautiful, loves raising horses. As for Buqi, his name has been changed. Due to interference from unknown factors, the system has no data. After guiding these 7 men, the system will give you a rich reward. Neem responded wearily, I have no interest in building a harem. Besides, Lion and Z are brothers. Incest can't possibly get that twisted. Does this even count as a mission? The system continued excitedly. We also have a mission to seize the destiny of the female lead, Tang Mu Ru. Think about it. I have no interest in stealing other people's things. This doesn't count as a mission either. Hearing her refusal, the system cursed in frustration. Are you a pig brain? Beep beep stupid beep beep brain for beep beep. How can I have such a lazy, negative host like you? Ignoring the system's outburst, she looked at Buqi and thought to herself, I don't care about other men. Right now, I just want to focus on raising little, and being able to raise little and is much better than those popularity-stealing games. Seeing that it was getting late, Zhao and Ming spoke up, Fairy, it's getting dark. Why don't we go to a nearby inn and rest for the night? We could talk about anything else tomorrow. All right. Neem then asked, do you know where an inn is? Zhao and Ming replied smugly, of course I do. Although Huangjiang City is remote, I've been here a few times. I'm quite familiar with the roads, and I'll have to trouble you. Neem carried Buqi and followed Zhao and Ming. He replied cheerfully, no trouble at all. Fairy saved my life. This small matter is nothing. And so, the 3 of them had dinner together at the inn. The dishes here are quite simple. I haven't been able to entertain you properly today, Fairy. Please forgive me. Zhao and Ming picked up a piece of meat for her and said excitedly, my family lives in Buchu City, a very lively place. There are big restaurants everywhere. If Fairy would marry me, I would take you to eat delicious food every day. Hearing this, Buqi slammed his chopsticks on the table and glared at him menacingly. Medi Niemitsky. Just him. Does he even deserve her? Hey Chiao. Immediately, the fierce black cat lunged forward and bit Zhao and Ming's hand. Ow, that hurts. Get off. Get off me. Fairy, save me. Zhao and Ming yelled and flailed his hand, but Hei Chiao wouldn't let go. Neem thought helplessly. Suddenly, I don't feel like saving him. Hei Chiao, let go now. She gently lifted Hei Chiao off and handed him to Buqi. Don't skip your meal, okay? I'm going to ask the waiter if there are any rooms left. Make sure you eat properly. Buqi nodded obediently. Seeing her treat Buqi so tenderly, Zhao and Ming thought to himself, the fairy seems to care a lot about this little boy. Could he be her younger brother? If I can have a good relationship with him, then I won't have to worry about not having a chance to get close to the fairy. Immediately, Zhao and Ming enthusiastically poured tea for Buqi. Here, little one, try this. I guarantee you'll want another cup after this one. But Buqi remained sullen and uninterested in him. Not long after, she returned. Buqi, I'm back. Before she could finish, she froze at the sight before her. I'll marry the fairy. I'll marry the fairy. Don't even dream. Neem is mine. Sir, please calm down. Both of you, please calm down. The 2 of them continued to bicker. What did you say? The fairy will be mine. What do you have besides your dirty money? Do you think you're worthy of Neem with just that? At this moment, she rushed forward and punched Zhao and Ming. Zhao and Ming, you've got some nerve. You actually dared to give him alcohol. Wow, fairy, you're so mean to me. After that, he left feeling wronged. The waiter will show you to the guest room. I'll take you back to Buchu City tomorrow morning. Neem thought unhappily, if we stay any longer, this guy will teach Buchi even more bad things. By now, Buchi was completely drunk. She gently lifted him. Buchi, let's go back to our room, okay? Buchi mumbled. Neem, when I grow up, I'll marry you. I definitely won't let any other man marry you. Neem can only be mine. Only mine. Hearing these words, she frowned, wondering what was going on. He opened his eyes and responded to something Zhao and Ming had apparently said. Grow up and become Neem's husband. He said he wanted to marry Neem. Marry me. She was completely bewildered. Buchi angrily shouted, Anyway, I won't let him marry Neem. He hugged her tightly, repeatedly saying, Neem is mine. Seeing this, she thought with frustration, Zhao and Ming, this is really unreliable. How dare he teach Buchi these things? And he even taught him to be so possessive. Just wait until tomorrow. I'll teach him a lesson. The next morning arrived quickly. They traveled together to Buchu City. Thank you, Fairy, for using your sword to bring me back. Why don't you come to my house for a cup of tea before you go? No, we still have things to do. She looked at Zhao and Ming and thought. The novel said that Zhao and Ming's father, Zhao Shang, will die from sudden, malignant illness in 2 years. If I can remind Zhao and Ming to bring him to the Imperial City to see Shunjun for treatment early, maybe Zhao and Ming can avoid this tragedy in 2 years. Your father, she was about to tell him, but was interrupted by the system's warning. Ding! Except for the target character, and Buchi, you currently do not have the right to interfere with the uncertain causality of others. Zhao and Ming looked at her blankly and asked my father, Fairy, what do you want to say? She could only reply helplessly, it's nothing. Fairy, I have something to tell you. Zhao and Ming suddenly grabbed her hand. Seeing their hands touch, Buchi seethed with jealousy. Zhao and Ming said cheerfully, I said before that I wanted to marry you, Fairy. I was serious, not joking. I really want to marry you. If you're interested in the future, whenever you want, just come back. I will definitely marry you. Hearing him say this, Neem was flustered. Wait a minute, this isn't right. This is Zhao and Ming's classic confession line. Isn't he supposed to say this to the female lead, Tang Mu-ru? What's going on? I'm not the female lead. Why is he saying this to me? She replied awkwardly, marriage isn't a joke. You need to think it over carefully, discuss it with your family, and then make a decision. I believe you'll find someone more suitable than me in the future. Having said that, she quickly excused herself. Farewell. Fate will bring us together again, if it's meant to be. Zhao and Ming watched her retreating figure with regret. Fairy. Later that night, Neem and Buchi were still following the map, trying to find their way. She looked at the map and exclaimed, the Gui-Yuan formation opens at midnight. The map shows it's very close. Suddenly, Buchi saw something and shouted, Neem, over there. She was also surprised. The Gui-Yuan formation. We found it. Buchi hugged her. She softly asked, Buchi, are you scared? He wasn't afraid at all and declared resolutely, as long as I'm with Neem, I'm not afraid of even mountains of blades or seas of fire. Then let's go. The two of them proceeded into the Gui-Yuan formation together. 2 years later, within the Gui-Yuan formation, Neem leisurely watered her vegetables. Hearing someone call her name, she turned to see Buchi peeking through the doorway. A joyful expression spread across her face. Buji, she waved excitedly as she approached him. You finally remembered the way back. How many days have you been gone? Let me see if you have any injuries. Buchi responded sheepishly, I'm fine. A faint redness lingered on his cheek, despite his claim. Neem's eyes widened in alarm. How can he be fine? She immediately took his hand and checked his pulse. Your dantian is empty. Your meridians are sluggish. You're clearly seriously injured. Suddenly, he held out a bouquet of flowers. Neem, these are flowers I just picked. I thought they were beautiful, so I brought them for you. Looking at the flowers, a flicker of surprise crossed her face. Beauty's gray flowers. These only grow on cliff sides, guarded by a snake-faced demon beast. To pick them, you'd have to kill the beast. Could the injuries on Buchi be? The thought brought tears to her eyes as she took the bouquet. Buqiu, do you like these flowers? He asked. Without a word, she turned and ran, slamming the door behind her. Buchi panicked. He immediately started pounding on the door. Niemitsky. Did I do something wrong? Don't ignore me. His voice dropped to a distraught whisper. Neem, are you upset because the flowers are stained with blood and not beautiful? I'll pick you bigger, more beautiful ones without any blood, okay? The door suddenly opened. Neem's face was a mask of displeasure. Buchi cautiously approached her. Neem, I know I was wrong. Tears streamed down her face as she demanded, were you wrong? Seeing her cry, Buchi's panic intensified. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left without telling you. I shouldn't have been gone for 2 days. That's not. She choked out, turning her face away slightly. That's not what's important. I'm angry because you don't value your own life. Did you ever think about how much my heart would ache if something happened to you? He dropped to his knees at her feet, his voice full of sincere remorse. I know, Neem, but I just thought the flowers were so beautiful, and I want to give them to you. Seeing his remorse, her anger softened. She gently stroked his head. Silly boy, don't do that again. You're still young. Don't risk your life for something like that. Those flowers aren't worth it, understand? That I'll never do it again. A small smile touched Buchi's lips. After this, if anyone else gives Neem flowers, he thought that she won't be swayed. Neem touched his cheek with concern. Does it still hurt? He smiled. Not anymore. She gently pinched his cheek. If it doesn't hurt, then go take a bath. Wash off the smell of blood. It's awful. He pouted but obeyed. Fine. After he left, the system appeared, its voice laced with suspicion. Have you noticed something off about the way Buchi looks at you? Neem, oblivious, shrugged. Something off. He seems perfectly normal to me. She puffed up with pride. Under my care, Buchi has not only become more open, but he's also growing stronger and healthier and eating well. The system sighed. I hope I'm wrong. Night had fallen, and Neem was still reading. Seeing this, Buchi spoke up. Neem, the light from the oil lamp is too dim. Reading like this isn't good for your eyes. She turned to look at him, noticing his hair was still wet. Why haven't you dried your hair yet? She asked. Today, when I was fighting that demon beast, my arm got injured. Even though I applied medicine, it still hurts when I lift it. Hearing this, she beckoned him closer. Come here. I'll help you dry your hair. If you go to sleep with wet hair, you'll catch a cold. Buchi, visibly pleased, obediently moved towards her. She then began to dry his hair. He noticed the distance between them and thought to himself, so far. He inched closer. She immediately spoke up, sounding uncomfortable. Don't get so close. It's hot. Buchi looked at her in surprise. He turned his head back, his voice laced with Wei Chu, a mixture of grievance and feeling wronged. Neem, do you dislike me now? No, she replied. Hearing this, he immediately hugged her tightly. She looked at him, a hint of helplessness in her eyes. He's clearly grown taller, but he's still so clingy. I use spiritual energy to dry your hair. You can go to sleep now. Seeing her leave so quickly, Buchi felt a pang of reluctance. She calmly walked over to her bed, preparing to sleep. Suddenly, Buchi called out to her again. Neem, he said, a little shyly, I want to sleep with you. Niemitsky gently refused. No, it's too hot. Besides, you're injured. If we sleep together now, I might touch your wound and it won't heal quickly. Hearing Neem refuse to let him sleep with her, Buchi dramatically clutched his blanket, his eyes shimmering with a pitiful look. So, Neem, you don't love me anymore, right? Neem, feeling a twinge of guilt, felt beads of sweat forming on her forehead. She pondered for a moment, then sighed. She slowly got up. Fine, she said softly. Buchi, overjoyed, didn't hesitate. He immediately threw himself into Neem's arms, wrapping his arms tightly around her and calling her name. Neem gently stroked his head and asked softly, all right, can you sleep now? Buchi obediently nodded. He replied quietly. Several years later, on a quiet afternoon, Buchi was bathing in a forest pool when Neem ran towards him, her breathing ragged, urgently calling out his name. Hearing Neem's voice, Buchi turned around, smiling. Neem, he replied. She continued running closer, her cheeks flushed with a mixture of urgency and embarrassment. Buji, she called out again, louder this time. But when she saw him bathing, his strong, pale body clearly visible beneath the clear water, Neem's face flushed crimson. She stammered. Buchi stood up straight, revealing his toned physique, his chest muscles perfectly defined. He teased her with a smile. Neem, am I handsome? Flustered, Neem turned away, trying to avoid his gaze. Why aren't you wearing any clothes? She asked, exasperated. Buchi replied, Neem, you suddenly barged in. Why are you blaming me? She quickly explained, I called out many times, but you didn't answer. I thought something had happened to you, so I came in to look for you. She thought to herself, Neem, what are you panicking about? It's not like you've never seen this before. You've seen enough when you helped Buchi bathe when he was little. Buchi, still with a playful smile, stepped closer to her, his eyes twinkling mischievously. He reached out and wrapped his arms around her waist. His low voice resonated beside her ear. Neem, startled, turned back, seeing that he was, in fact, fully dressed. Neem blushed again, indignantly pushing him away. Why didn't you make a sound? You startled me. Get away from me. She thought to herself, so without realizing it, Buchi has grown so tall. His features aren't as innocent and childlike as before. The adorable, slightly wild Buchi of the past is gone. Buchi continued to smile, his eyes gazing at her tenderly. Neem, he asked, why won't you look at me? Neem felt a bead of sweat trickle down her temple. His voice wasn't as gentle as usual. She felt a bit flustered. Trying to regain her composure, she turned and said, come on, let's go back. On their way back, she started thinking to herself, it's time to make a new room for Buchi to sleep in separately. But they hadn't walked far when Buchi suddenly grabbed her hand. His eyes darkened as he saw the wound on Neem's hand. He frowned, his voice filled with concern. Niemiecki, Jurehurt. Neem was surprised by his reaction. She replied softly, I ran into a demon beast on my way here, and it attacked me. But it's nothing, just a small wound. It's fine, just a minor injury. Buchi's face grew serious as he looked at the wound on her hand. Neem, do you remember what the demon beast looked like? She replied hesitantly, I think it had horns on its head, a tail, and a body like a snake. After hearing her description, Buchi nodded seriously. In a calm voice, he said, I understand. Then, without warning, he bent down and scooped Neem up into his arms. The sudden action startled her, and her cheeks flushed. She struggled slightly. What are you doing? I can walk myself. But Buchi remained calm, smiling gently. His eyes were filled with concern. Neem, you're injured. We need to get back and treat that wound. Carrying you will be faster. His voice was gentle but firm. He didn't give her a chance to refuse. Neem, feeling both embarrassed and flustered, simply lowered her head and remained silent. She let him carry her back to the cottage. Back at the cottage, Buchi gently set her down on the bed. He fetched bandages and medicine, then sat down carefully beside her and began to dress her wound. His hands were strong yet incredibly gentle, each movement deliberate and careful as if afraid to cause her pain. While bandaging her hand, he couldn't help but scold her gently. Neem, why weren't you more careful? Neem quickly explained, I'm really okay. It's just a small cut. Her voice was small, tinged with embarrassment at being reprimanded in front of him. But Buchi wasn't letting her off the hook. His eyes were serious, his voice deepening. Neem, haven't you ever heard the saying that a woman shouldn't have scars? You're not taking care of yourself. You always lecture me about it, and now you're doing the opposite. If you do this again, I'll be very upset. His words made Neem pause. Her heart stirred as she looked into his sincere eyes. She couldn't help but blush, replying softly, I understand. After finishing bandaging her hand, Buchi leaned down and gently blew on the wound. Hearing her reply, he gave her an approving smile. Neem, you're so beautiful like this. Neem looked at him, flustered. She felt a strange unease in her heart. Buchi's eyes were different now, deep and filled with something she couldn't quite decipher. She thought to herself, his eyes, they feel wrong somehow. To avoid the atmosphere becoming even more awkward, she quickly changed the subject. Goodness, Buchi, you're truly handsome. If you ever leave the Gui-Yuan formation, who knows how much trouble you'll cause for all the young women out there. As she spoke, Neem thought to herself, my apologies to all the young ladies out there. I've inadvertently raised a heartbreaker. He'll probably use his devastating good looks to charm them all, one after another. Hearing her words, Buchi maintained his gentle smile, but his gaze became more intense. He replied without hesitation, if Neem is worried about me causing trouble for other girls, then just don't let me leave the Gui-Yuan formation. His casual words stunned Neem. She quickly retorted, how can that be? Are you saying you'll stay here with me in this formation forever? Won't you look for a wife? Hearing this, Bucci furrowed his brow and looked at her seriously, asking, why not? His straightforward answer startled Neem. Slightly exasperated, she scolded him, don't be ridiculous. Sooner or later, you'll have to leave the Gui-Yuan formation and go out into the world to seek your own destiny. Bucci started to say something, but Neem quickly cut him off. Besides, you're not a child anymore. It's not appropriate for you to keep living with me. I'll set up a room for you next door this afternoon. You can sleep there, Bucci. Hearing this, Bucci froze. His lips pressed together, and a look of displeasure crossed his face. He didn't say another word, turning and quickly walking out. Anger was evident on his face. He slammed the door shut behind him with a loud bang. Startled, Neem called after him anxiously, where are you going? Bucci didn't turn back, only replying curtly, to kill the demon beast that injured you. With that, he strode away quickly, his figure disappearing into the distance. Neem watched his retreating back, sighing heavily. She thought to herself, Bucci, has he reached his rebellious phase? How did things turn out like this? She stood there for a long time, a look of helplessness and worry in her eyes. She kept thinking about how to appease him. Outside, Bucci walked while calling out loudly, Neem. Niemitski. Suddenly, he stopped and stared, startled at the figure ahead. He saw Neem standing by the pool, calling out Bucci. Bucci's face flushed crimson. He stammered, Neem. Neem walked over to him, wrapped her arms around his neck, and said, Bucci, you're so naughty, peeking at me again while I'm bathing. Bucci blushed deeply, embracing her and explaining, I didn't. She called his name again, then lifted her leg, letting her thigh brush against him. His face burned as he held her close, closing his eyes and saying blissfully, Neem, I'm here. Suddenly, a meow pierced the air. Hachio, their black cat, was now sprawled across Bucci's face, licking him enthusiastically and wagging its tail with delight. Annoyed, Bucci sat up abruptly and scolded, Hachio, what are you doing? Waking up fully, he felt a surge of frustration. I was just about to with Neem. Right at the crucial moment, it was ruined. Seeing his bad mood, Hachio quickly scampered away. Bucci sighed, holding his head in his hands. What a pity. It was just a dream. Oh well, I should get up and go find Neem. He pulled back the covers, looked down at his pants, and quickly pulled the covers back up, his face flushing crimson. My pants are soiled again. After changing his clothes, Bucci left his room and called out, Sister Neem, are you there? He pushed open the door and said, she's not in the house either. At this hour, Neem is probably out shopping again, beyond the Gui-Yuan formation. Bucci stepped into her room, sat on her bed, and lay down. A blissful smile spread across his face as he thought, Neem, you're so cruel. How would you leave me to sleep alone? I just want to sleep with you. He buried his face in her blanket, inhaling her scent, his cheeks flushing. Reaching into his pants, he whispered Neem's name. I miss you so much, Neem, he thought as he took care of himself. Afterward, Bucci immediately took Neem's blanket to the riverbank to wash. Just then, Neem returned. Surprised, she asked, Bucci, why are you washing my blanket? You shouldn't wash it too often. The more you wash it, the less warm it will be. Why are you washing my blanket? Bucci replied, it's good to wash it once in a while. Summer is approaching, and you won't need such a thick blanket. Neem cheerfully approached him. Do you need any help? Bucci's face flushed red as he snatched the blanket and the basin, stammering, no need. I'm almost done. If there's nothing else, Neem, could you go cook? I'm a little hungry. She readily agreed and turned to leave. Before going, she glanced back at Bucci and sighed. Bucci's obsession with cleanliness is getting worse. He's clean himself, but why does he want me to be the same? And why does everything feel so strange lately? Seeing Neem leave, Bucci looked down at the blanket and thought, if this continues, Neem will find out sooner or later. Although I want to marry her, she doesn't have those kinds of feelings for me right now. If she knew, she'd be scared off. He squeezed the blanket tightly and threw it back into the water. It's all Neem's fault, swaying in front of me every day, he muttered. She has no idea how hard I'm trying to restrain myself. I'm almost at my limit. One day, I'll have her. I won't let anyone take her away from me. Neem entered her room and lay comfortably on the bed. She happily opened a book to read, the gentle sunlight streaming through the window, casting a warm glow over her. Just then, the door creaked open and Bucci entered. His voice was soft and familiar. Hearing the familiar voice, Neem immediately sat up, still holding the book. She placed it on her lap and asked casually, Buchi, you're back. What do you want to eat for lunch? Tell me, and I'll make it for you. Buchi didn't answer immediately. He walked over and sat beside her, resting his head on her shoulder naturally. His gentle voice whispered in her ear, as long as it's made by Neem, I'll like anything. Neem chuckled at his dependent reply. She tilted her head slightly, teasing him, you're growing up, but you're still so clingy. Buchi was smiling happily, but his eyes suddenly stopped on the title of the book Neem was holding. The expression on his face quickly changed, becoming more serious. He sat up straight and asked curiously, Neem, why are you reading a book about dual cultivation? Neem, oblivious to the change in his eyes, flipped through the book and replied casually, I heard that dual cultivation can rapidly increase cultivation levels. I was curious, so I bought a few books to read. Her voice was laced with amusement. Pointing at a page, she said, the male lead in this book has an elegant, immortal-like figure, extraordinary talent, and unwavering chivalry. Look, this book even comes with illustrations. It's really quite stimulating. Hearing this, Buchi froze. A complex expression washed over his face as he stared at Neem. His voice was tinged with urgency. So, Neem, who do you want to cultivate with? Don't you want me? Neem, startled by his intensity, quickly backtracked. A pang of guilt struck her. We've relied on each other in the Gui-Yuan formation for over 15 worlds. He only has me. Is he afraid I'll get close to someone else and abandon him? The thought softened her heart. She gently stroked Buchi's head, her voice soothing. Don't worry, I'll always be by your side until you get married. I'm more worried that you'll forget about me after you marry someone. Buchi quickly responded, his voice a mixture of anxiety and unwavering resolve. Never, he declared, pulling Neem into a tight embrace. I don't want anyone else. I only want Neem. Don't even think about leaving me in this lifetime. He held her tightly, as if afraid that if he let go, she would vanish. Unseen by Neem, a possessive madness flickered in his eyes, deep and bottomless. Unaware of the strange glint in his eyes, Neem simply patted his head and sighed softly. All right, I'll stay by your side. I won't go anywhere. Happy now. Hearing her reassurance, Buchi's face brightened, a smile returning to his lips. He sat up straight, his eyes sparkling with renewed interest. Neem, he asked, can I borrow this book? I want to learn about dual cultivation too. Neem laughed and, without hesitation, handed him the stack of books. Of course, she said enthusiastically. I have plenty more. If you want to read them, I'll lend them to you. Buchi nodded, clutching the books. Yes, lend them to me. Neem, I'm going back to my room now. With that, he hurried out of Neem's room, books in hand. The moment he closed his door behind him, the smile vanished from his face, replaced by a chilling coldness. His eyes, dark and brooding, fixed on the books in his arms. Without a second thought, he tossed the books into the fire, watching with a strange satisfaction as the flames consumed them. A possessive madness flared in his eyes. Secretly reading books about dual cultivation. Neem, you're being very naughty. He continued to feed the books to the flames, his thoughts a turbulent swirl. Neem is mine. She can only be mine in this life and the next. She can only practice dual cultivation with me. The thought brought a perverse sense of pleasure, lifting his spirits. Buchi turned and left the room, his steps light, as if he had just completed some important task. A fierce determination filled him. For Neem, he would do anything, right or wrong. Time passed. That night, Neem stood bewildered before the weathered wooden gate of a familiar courtyard. Frowning slightly, she wondered, how strange. Why did I suddenly return to my old room? A sense of unease settled over her. Something isn't right. A heavy feeling pressed down on her heart. Without hesitation, Neem pushed open the door. The creaking sound echoed in the stillness, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. Just as she stepped inside, a faint voice drifted from within the room. Ollie, be gentle, a woman's voice purred, soft yet intimate. Neem froze, a wave of inexplicable anxiety washing over her. Why is there a woman's voice in the house? She crept closer, peering through a crack in the slightly ajar door. A shocking scene unfolded before her eyes. Buchi was close to Tangmu Ru, his eyes filled with a tenderness she had never seen before. Muru, he murmured, I love you. His words pierced Neem-Neem's heart like a dagger. Before she could react, he leaned down, pressing close to Tang Mu-Ru. She let out a soft, breathy laugh. Ali, she whispered, slow down. Neem-Neem, witnessing this, gasped, covering her mouth in shock. Buchi continued to murmur her name. Mu-Ru. Neem-Neem's mind raced. Tang Mu-Ru, why is she here? Tang Mu-Ru sat up, her gaze sweeping across the room and landing on Neem-Neem, who stood frozen in the doorway. A smug smile played on her lips. Oh my, Ali, she said, her voice laced with triumph. Someone's watching us. Buchi's head snapped around, his eyes locking onto Neem-Neem. His voice dripped with a mixture of anger and contempt. What are you doing here? Neem-Neem stammered. What's going on? Tang Mu-Ru continued, her voice dripping with false innocence. Ali, this woman schemed her way into my place. She's been by your side all these years. I don't want you listening to her lies. Without hesitation, Buchi drew his sword, pointing it directly at Neem-Neem. His voice was ice cold. Is that so? Then kill her. In that instant, Neem-Neem felt as if she had been frozen in place. Her heart pounded in her chest, her eyes wide with disbelief. Kill me, she choked out. Buchi, what are you saying? He didn't answer, instead lunging forward, his sword piercing her through. Neem-Neem jolted awake with a gasp, crying out no. She breathed heavily, realizing it had been a dream. The nightmare clung to her, preventing her from falling back asleep. Hugging her knees, she thought, why did I suddenly dream of Tang Mu-Ru? I brought Buchi to the Gui-Yuan formation. He shouldn't have any interaction with Tang Mu-Ru. What's going on? I remember the general plot of the novel, but the details are fading. Why do I feel like I can't remember the contents clearly? She held her head, then called out, System. Her system appeared, chirping cheerfully. I'm here. Neem-Neem, rubbing her temples, said, help me check Buchi's current favorability rating. The system processed for a moment, then announced query complete. Buchi's current favorability is very high. Neem-Neem was stunned. Impossible. It's been decades. How can his favorability still be so high? The system replied in its usual cheerful, upbeat tone. System, everything is normal. Host, try to think if there's anything you haven't completed yet. Neem-Neem frowned, lost in thought. She mentally reviewed the events that had transpired. Suddenly, her eyes lit up with realization. A confident expression spread across her face. I've got it, she exclaimed, a confident expression spreading across her face. The novel spent a considerable amount of time describing how Buchi was bullied by the sect, leading to deep-seated resentment. Many of his subsequent actions were driven by revenge against the sect, or perhaps to please the female lead. His favorability being stuck with me must be because of the lingering anger in his heart. As long as I can help him resolve that anger, his favorability will definitely reach 100%. Neem-Neem looked at the system, her gaze firm, as if seeking confirmation for her deduction. The system, upon hearing this, expressed surprise, then immediately raised 2 fingers and praised her. Host, you're so smart. Reassured by the system's compliment, Neem-Neem felt much more at ease. A small smile played on her lips as she lay down on the bed, lost in thought. Buchi has been training in the Gui-Yuan formation for over 15 years. He's ready to return to the outside world. With this thought in mind, she slowly closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. Neem-Neem woke up feeling refreshed. After washing her face, she began packing her clothes and belongings. As she bustled around the room, she heard a familiar voice call out from beyond the door. Niemitsky, Niemitsky. Hearing his voice, Neem-Neem turned around, a welcoming smile gracing her features. Buchi, you're back. But as her eyes fell upon Buchi, the smile on her lips instantly vanished. He was covered in wounds, dried blood staining his clothes. Startled, she asked in alarm what happened. Why are you injured? Without waiting for his reply, Neem-Neem quickly stepped forward, grasped Buchi's hand, and pulled him into the room. Come, let me bandage your wounds, she said as she led him inside. Buchi obediently followed her, a subtle, knowing smile playing on his lips. She pulled him to a chair and began bandaging his wounds, scolding him gently. How many times have I told you? If you encounter a demonic beast you can't defeat, run away. Being stubborn will only get you hurt. He chuckled in response. I know. This time it was just an accident. I'll be more careful next time. Looking at her worried expression, he couldn't help but feel a surge of smug satisfaction. It was just a small demonic beast. There's no way it could actually hurt me. I just stood there and let it get a few hits in, so I could get injured. Only then could I see Neem's panicked face, worried about me. Seeing her worry like this, even getting injured is worth it. As Neem carefully wiped the blood from his body, she continued to reprimand him. You better mean what you say. Take off your clothes so I can see if you have any other wounds. Buchi, looking at her pouting face, felt his amusement grow. Suppressing a smile, he replied seriously, all right. And with that, he didn't hesitate to remove his outer robe. As the garment fell away, it revealed a toned physique with perfectly sculpted muscles. Neem's face flushed crimson. She quickly turned her head away, her heart pounding in her chest. Buchi, seeing her reaction, his eyes twinkled with amusement. Pleased with the success of his plan, he deliberately moved closer, his voice low and suggestive. Niemitsky. Neem quickly turned her head away again, embarrassed, thinking to herself, why am I lusting after my disciple's body? I'm so shameless. Buchi, seeing her blush deepen, smiled smugly, satisfied with his successful ploy. Neem gently applied medicine to the wound on Buchi's chest, her eyes filled with concern. She leaned in closer, softly asking, does it hurt? Buchi smiled and shook his head. Not at all. Seeing his calm demeanor, Neem frowned, sensing he was trying to endure the pain. Uncertain, she leaned down and gently blew on the wound on his chest, hoping to soothe the burning sensation. This unexpected action startled Buchi. He unconsciously let out a soft moan. Neem, flustered, quickly pulled back and blurted out a lie. A wound this deep must be incredibly painful. Just bear with it a little longer. Once I apply this medicine, it should be healed by tomorrow. Stay inside and rest for the next few days. Don't go wandering around, understand? In a few days, I'll also make arrangements to return to the Hui sect. Hearing this, Buchi flinched slightly, his brow furrowing. Why? He asked. Neem explained, the Immortal Alliance conference is about to begin. All the sects and clans will be participating. Besides, your cultivation level isn't what it used to be. Buchi fell silent for a moment, his eyes darkening slightly. Then, in a somewhat subdued tone, he asked, Neem, do you want me to participate? Neem looked at him, a gentle smile gracing her lips. She nodded, yes. Hearing her response, Buchi sighed, a flicker of sadness in his eyes. Then, he said, I'll do whatever Neem wishes. Sensing the strange shift in the atmosphere, Neem quickly changed the subject. It's just that I haven't figured out how to leave the Gui Yuan formation yet. Shinjun only told me how to enter, but not how to get out. Buchi pondered for a moment, then replied, I once read in a book, the dragon births 9 sons. Each son is a guardian beast, distributed at different locations within the Gui Yuan formation. If we defeat one of them, we can create an opening in the formation. Then we can seize the opportunity to leave. Hearing this, Neem excitedly stood up. All right, once you've fully recovered, we'll set off to find a guardian beast. Seeing the excitement on Neem's face, Buchi couldn't help but smile. Several days later, Buchi's wounds had completely healed. The two decided to set out to find a guardian beast and leave the Gui Yuan formation. After locating a guardian beast, Buchi didn't hesitate. He drew his sword and charged towards it. His sharp blade descended, but the beast nimbly dodged, simultaneously swinging its massive tail towards Buchi. The tail struck a large branch, snapping it and sending it hurtling towards him. Seeing this, Neem cried out in alarm, Buchi, be careful. Buchi immediately spun to avoid the falling branch, but the impact of it hitting the ground created a violent tremor. Neem raised her hands to shield her face from the dust and debris. Anxiously, she called out, Buchi, Wuji. Before she could regain her composure, she felt a chill behind her. She whirled around, and to her horror, discovered the guardian beast had crept up behind her, poised to attack. Niemitsky. Buchi roared, his eyes wide with panic. Without a second thought, he lunged forward, using all his strength to shield Neem with his body, taking the full brunt of the beast's attack. They both crashed to the ground. Dust and smoke billowed around them. Buchi held Neem tightly, his voice frantic. Neem, are you all right? Neem coughed, then forced a smile. Buchi, I'm fine. Seeing that she was unharmed, Buchi breathed a sigh of relief. But in the next instant, his eyes blazed with fury, and a murderous aura radiated from him. Through gritted teeth, he hissed, you dare hurt Neem. Today will be your death day. His words barely finished, Buchi sprang to his feet. A powerful surge of spiritual energy erupted from his entire body. His eyes, cold and sharp, locked onto the beast. A murderous aura radiated from him. With a piercing gaze, he charged towards the beast, sword in hand. He slashed, severing one of the beast's horns, eliciting a pained roar. Without hesitation, he shifted his grip on his sword, thrusting it deep into the beast's throat, causing it to bellow in agony. Neem watched from behind, utterly astonished. When had Buchi become so powerful? He was fighting the beast on equal footing. His cultivation level must have reached at least the king realm. Logically, ordinary demonic beasts within the formation shouldn't be able to injure him. But why did he always return with wounds? Could he be intentionally injuring himself? She began to have doubts about Buchi's previous injuries. Buchi looked down at the now-defeated beast, his body swaying slightly. Neem, he said weakly, I'm injured. The barrier is open. We should go. Seeing his unsteady state, Neem gasped. Buchi, what's wrong? Bujiko upset, and Neem rushed forward to catch him. Aye, he whispered, then coughed up a mouthful of blood. Neem cried out in fear. Buchi, once we're out of the formation, I'll take you to a healer. Just hold on. He weakly replied. Neem, don't cry. I'm here. Tears streamed down her face as she looked at him. Buji. He reached out a trembling hand to wipe away her tears, a faint smile on his lips. You saved my life. It's strange. Heaven has never been kind to me, sending me to the wolves. It wants my life, but I don't want to give it to them. I only want to give it to you. With that, he closed his eyes. Before losing consciousness, he thought, I've never desired anything so desperately to the point of despair. If only Neem would love me a little. I'd even give her my heart. Seeing him unconscious, Neem cried out, Buji, don't sleep. Talk to me. Just then, the system appeared. Host, there's something I don't know if I should say. Have you forgotten about the system and the shopping center? Neem's eyes widened. That's right, the shopping center. Through her tears, she pleaded with the system. Quickly, give me the best healing medicine. I don't care how many points it costs. 500 points can heal external injuries, the system replied. But for internal injuries, you'll need to find a healer. All right, she sobbed, snatching the bottle from the system and pouring it into Buchi's mouth. Outside Hujong City, Neem ran, her thoughts racing. I've left Buchi at the inn for now. I don't know how long the barrier I cast will hold. I have to find a healer quickly. As she ran, she noticed the city's residents running in the opposite direction, shouting wolves. There's a white wolf carrying a man and a woman. The man on the wolf's back yelled, out of the way. Move. Neem stared in alarm as the wolf charged towards her. Suddenly, the wolf stopped. The woman dismounted. My brother's recklessness has startled you, she said. Please allow me to apologize on his behalf. Neem looked at the woman, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. She looks familiar. Have I met her before? Just then, the system appeared, congratulating Neem. Congratulations, host. You've successfully encountered the female lead, Tang Mu-ru. Neem, utterly stunned, thought what? She's Tang Mu-ru. Her captivating beauty truly inspires adoration. No wonder she can get away with even the gravest mistakes later on, simply by shedding a few tears. It's no surprise countless men go mad for her. Buji, that used a forbidden technique for her, only to suffer the backlash. He even succumbed to demonic cultivation for her, only to be killed by her own hand in the end. Towards those who sacrificed themselves for her, she always feigned innocence. But now that I'm here, I won't let her and Buchi become entangled. I'll prevent that tragic ending. She clenched her fists in anger. Tang Mu-ru continued to approach, calling out, Mississippi. Neem replied, I'm fine. At that moment, the man on the wolf called out, Ru, we should go. That must be the Northern Wolf King, Tang Xianyi, Neem thought. So he's Tang Xianyi. I remember the novel mentioning that he and Tang Mu-ru aren't blood siblings. Later, Tang Xian even develops feelings for her that go beyond sibling affection. It seems their relationship hasn't reached that point yet. Tang Mo-eru waved, smiling. Miss, my brother and I have matters to attend to. Farewell. Niemitski nodded. Watching her leave, Neem thought angrily, for Buchi's sake, I need to keep him away from Tang Mu-ru. I can't let them meet. At the inn, Neem had found a healer to examine Buchi. The healer took Buchi's pulse as he lay in bed, then stroked his beard. Young man, you only have external injuries. They look serious, but they're not as bad as the young lady said. Seeing her rush in like that, I thought you were on death's door. Buchi remained silent. Suddenly, the healer winked and leaned closer, whispering, "Young man, don't tell me you purposely injured yourself to make the young lady worry." Bucci blushed, unable to hide his scheme from the healer's discerning eyes. The healer chuckled. "So young, yet so cunning. If you have such feelings for her, why hide them? Tell her. I can see that young lady cares deeply for you. She must like you too." Bucci responded sadly. "She only sees me as a child." He thought, if Neem discovers my true feelings for her, she might not treat me so kindly anymore. The healer stroked his beard. "Young man, you clearly lack experience. You're still so young. Let this old man teach you a few tricks." Bucci immediately sat up. "What tricks?" The healer leaned in and whispered, "Find an opportunity to stare at her. If she avoids your gaze, blushes, and acts shy, then there's hope. But if her expression remains unchanged, or if she shows any displeasure, then you'll have to work harder." Bucci asked, "Will this method work?" The healer laughed. "Of course. That young lady seems quite good. If you can make her your wife, you'll be a fortunate man." Just then, Neem entered, asking, "Old sir, how is Bucci's injury?" The old man smiled. "His injury is nothing." Suddenly, Bucci coughed loudly. The healer, realizing his predicament, broke out in a sweat and fell silent. Neem rushed to Bucci's side, embracing him and asking worriedly, "Bucci, what's wrong? Are you still in pain?" He feigned pain, saying, Neem, I'm hurting so much." Neem anxiously asked the healer, "Old sir, what about his condition?" The healer replied, "Indeed, his injuries are quite severe. He needs to rest properly for a few days. Young lady, remember to make medicine for him every day. Also, make sure his wounds don't get wet. Ordinarily, if he bathes, it's best if someone assists him." She nodded, responding, "Understood. Thank you, old sir." The healer, before leaving, said, "No need to thank me. Please help this young man bandage the wound on his back. I still have other patients waiting." With that, he departed. Neem sat down to bandage Bucci's wounds. Tying the knot, she said, "They're all done." Bucci mused, "If only you were a little girl. Then I could braid your hair every day and dress you in pretty clothes." He then added, "I'm not like a little girl, you know, Neem." Hearing him use her name, she asked, "What is it?" He gazed at her intently. Blushing, she asked Bucci. He recalled the old healer's words, "Find an opportunity to stare at her. If she avoids your gaze, blushes, and acts shy, then there's hope." He thought to himself, avoiding eye contact, blushing, acting shy. I wonder if Neem feels that way about me. Feeling his intense gaze, she became flustered, blushing and asking with a laugh, "Bucci, is there something on my face?" Seeing her flushed cheeks, he startled. Turning away, he clutched his chest, thinking, "Bucci, you're such a coward." Neem, puzzled by his reaction, moved closer, placing a hand on his forehead and asking, "Bucci, are you feverish? Why is your face so red?" Pulling the blanket around himself, he said, Neem, I'm hungry." She sighed, nodding. "All right, you rest. I'll go out and get you some food." With that, she left the room and closed the door. Outside, touching her flushed cheeks, she thought, strange. It's only been 3 days, but why do I feel like it's getting hotter? That evening, inside the inn, Neem slept beside Bucci. He whispered, Neem, are you asleep?" When she didn't reply, he looked at her with a happy thought. Neem is afraid I'll hurt myself in my sleep, so she insisted on sleeping here to take care of me. It's been so long since we shared a room, ever since we separated. While she slept soundly, Bucci reached out to caress her face. His fingers trailed to her soft lips. Tracing their outline, he blushed, whispering, "Would you let me kiss you? Just once." Seizing the opportunity, he leaned down and kissed her lips. After a moment, Neem stirred. He immediately released her lips, whispering, Neem. Then he kissed her forehead. Holding her tightly, he frowned, thinking, Neem, how can I make you fall for me? I don't care anymore. I'll do whatever it takes, even if it hurts me. As long as you care about me, I'll do anything. A cold look flashed in his eyes. He embraced Neem tightly, like a predator clinging to its prey, refusing to let it escape. The scene shifted to afternoon. Neem ran into a mountain manor, saying, "I can't believe that after more than 10 years in the formation, the scenery outside hasn't changed much. The Immortal Alliance conference is the day after tomorrow. Let's take a walk around and then go register." Bucci nodded in agreement. Wiping the sweat from his brow, he asked Neem, "Could we just walk around for a bit today?" I'm sweating and feel a little uncomfortable. Could you help me bathe? Nim turned away, refusing. I helped you bathe a few days ago, and I saw that your wounds were healing well. There's nothing to worry about now. Inwardly, she blushed, thinking, every time I help Buchi bathe, I don't know where to look. He's grown up now, after all. I shouldn't just stare. Seeing her refusal, Buchi feigned disappointment and then dramatically cried out. Startled, Nim spun around, anxiously asking, Buchi, what's wrong? He feigned weakness, replying, I'm all right. Maybe when I was practicing my swordsmanship today, I moved too much and the wound on my back reopened. Nim, you should rest. I can manage on my own. He turned to leave. She watched him go, silent for a moment, then said, Buchi, wait. I'll help you bathe. She thought to herself, Buchi is usually so well-behaved and doesn't need me to worry about him. If it weren't for his serious injury, he wouldn't trouble me. I'm being too critical. Seeing her agreement, a triumphant smile flickered across his face. Hidden from her view, he turned back, replying, thank you, Nim. I'm sorry to trouble you. She helped him into the bathroom. As he removed his robe and sat in the bath, she saw the large wound on his back and gasped, what happened? Why is your wound so severe? Distressed, she thought, how could this happen? I only asked him to practice his forms, not fight any beasts. Why is his wound like this? Buchi smiled inwardly. Although reopening my almost healed wound hurts a bit, if it means I can be close to Nim for a few more days, I'm willing. She poured more hot water into the bath, watching the droplets trickle down his chest. Her hands trembled as she washed him, thinking, this is so embarrassing. I can't look anymore. Her heart pounded in her chest. Finally finished, she helped him dress and asked, where's Hyo? I haven't seen it all day. He looked at her and replied, it ran off to play. Suddenly, he took her hand and asked, Nim, can I sleep with you tonight? She immediately refused. No. He leaned his head against her shoulder, saying, Nim, I don't want to sleep alone. It's cold. Hearing this, she relented, surprised by her own agreement. All right. Blushing, she recalled when Buchi had asked her, Nim, how do you start reading dual cultivation books? She had replied, the male lead in this book is elegant like a celestial being, naturally gifted and chivalrous. She blushed, thinking, oh no, I shouldn't have let Buchi read that. He's going to start imitating it. At the Immortal Alliance conference, Buchi appeared, dressed in black. Young women immediately surrounded him, asking, are you the one who was just on the stage? The one who defeated that cultivator so easily? You're amazing. Could you teach us? What's your name? Despite the flurry of attention from the excited girls, he remained aloof. The moment he heard Nim's voice, Buchi's expression instantly brightened. He ran towards her, calling, Nim. She smiled and said, congratulations on passing the round, Buchi. He grinned back. It's all thanks to your excellent teaching, Nim. Just then, a girl appeared, inserting herself between them. Hello, she said. I'm Lianhua. What's your relationship? She asked. Are you two Dao companions? Nim blushed and waved her hands. We're not. But Buchi immediately pulled her close, declaring, she's my fiancée. Nim was startled by his words. Glancing at Lianhua, she thought, it seems Buchi doesn't want to be entangled with these girls, so he's using me as a shield. So she quickly nodded and said with a smile, yes, I'm his fiancée. Lianhua replied, as expected, only a beautiful older sister like you would be worthy of someone like Brotherin. She asked, surprised, Brotherin. Lianhua covered her mouth, giggling. A few days ago, when you were registering, I accidentally saw on Buchi. It's such a nice name. Your makeup is so lovely. Older sister, she continued. Unlike me, I don't even know how to apply it. Nim thought, have I encountered an ancient green tea girl? Suddenly, Buchi stepped in front of Nim, shielding her. He said coldly, she's already stunning. She doesn't need makeup. Lianhua clapped her hands and laughed. If only I had a Dao companion like Brotherin. Not only handsome and extraordinary, but also incredibly powerful. Buchi coldly interrupted her. I already have Nim. Lianhua said shyly, well, I still have to thank Brotherin for saving me just now, pushing me aside. Otherwise, I would have been injured by that cultivator. He scowled. I pushed you because you were in my way. You're annoying. He thought angrily, if I wasn't afraid of Nim misunderstanding, I wouldn't want to waste a single word on this woman. Lianhua blushed at his harsh words. Don't be so mean. She turned and stormed off. Nim watched her go, a smug thought crossing her mind. I was going to teach this green tea girl a lesson myself, but I didn't expect Buchi to handle it first. I didn't even have to say a word. She said cheerfully, come on, Buchi. The third round is about to start. Let's go watch the others compete and gain some experience. He nodded. All right. He followed her. At that moment, Tang Mu Ru appeared on the platform. "I am Tang Mu Ru," she announced. "Please enlighten me." The crowd below began to murmur. "She's so concise," one person remarked. "A true beauty. I really want to go up there and compete with her just to admire her beauty up close. She's probably the most beautiful woman in the entire Immortal Alliance conference." Neem Neem thought. As expected, every time Tang Mu Ru appears, she receives such praise. She always draws admiration. She glanced at Buqi and saw him staring at her. "The competition has started," she said. He continued to look at her. "So," he asked. Blushing, she asked shyly, "What do you think of the woman on stage?" He glanced over and replied, "All show, no substance. Not practical." She narrowed her eyes. "I'm asking what you think of her." He replied, "Beautiful, of course." Neem Neem pursed her lips, thinking, as expected, no one can escape the radiance of the female lead, Tang Mu Ru. "I still can't change the plot." Suddenly, Buqi leaned close to her and said, "But her beauty doesn't even compare to half of Neem Neem's." Neem Neem blushed at his words. "What are you saying?" she asked, playfully hitting his arm. "Where did you learn to flatter like this?" He simply smiled and took her hand, clearly delighted by her flustered reaction. On the platform, the announcer struck a resounding gong and declared, "The next match, NZ versus Buqi." Neem Neem's eyes widened in surprise. What a coincidence, she thought. As she pondered this, NZ, the young master, slowly stepped onto the arena from the other side. Sunlight glinted off the exquisite sword at his side, casting him in a heroic light. His handsome features and proud demeanor immediately captivated the audience. Beside Neem Neem, Buqi turned to her and said softly, "Neem Neem, I'm going up." A wave of anxiety washed over her. "Be careful," she urged. "If you can't win, just surrender. Don't push yourself. Your life is more important." She added silently to herself, "Even though Buqi is very strong, and Z is the male protagonist after all. With the protagonist's halo, he's unlikely to lose." Instead of appearing worried, Buqi smiled gently. "Neem Neem, are you worried about me?" Neem Neem reached out and pinched his cheek playfully. "Who else would I be worried about?" she teased. Buqi seized the opportunity to gently take her hand, still resting on his cheek. His eyes crinkled with amusement. "Don't worry, Neem Neem," he reassured her softly. "I won't lose." His words eased her worries slightly. She smiled back. "I know. Our Buqi is the best." A surge of joy filled Buqi's heart at her words. He turned and strode resolutely towards the arena. The moment he stepped onto the platform, his expression changed. The gentle warmth he had shown Neem Neem vanished, replaced by a cold, determined focus. Across from him, NZ stood waiting, a look of disdain on his face. He slowly drew his sword, sneering, "So slow. What a waste of time to duel with a nobody like you. Draw your sword," he commanded. Buqi frowned, thinking, this little brother of mine is truly spoiled and looks down on everyone. Without further hesitation, he drew his sword and charged towards NZ, a thought flashing through his mind. "Let's see how patient you really are." Below the platform, Neem Neem watched Buqi's every move intently, cheering him on. "Buqi, that's right. Stab him there. Hit him." The surrounding crowd buzzed with excitement. "Who do you think will win?" Someone called out. "Definitely young master and Z of the Huang Hun sect." Another replied instantly. "He became famous in a battle when he was just a child. He's considered one of the best, even within the entire cultivation world." Another person pulled out a money pouch. "But I feel like Buqi has the advantage. Let's make a bet. I'll bet on Buqi." Someone immediately responded, "I'll take that bet. I'm betting on NZ. The young master can't possibly lose." Hearing this, Neem Neem turned towards the betting table. Seeing how little gold had been placed on Buqi, she couldn't help but feel indignant. Without a second thought, Neem Neem pulled out several pouches of spirit stones. Slamming them down on the table, she declared 1,000 spirit stones on Buqi. The bookmaker, startled by the large sum, stammered, "Miss, that's a rather large bet." "What if?" Neem Neem cut him off, her voice firm. "There are no what-ifs. I believe in him." Just then, another figure appeared. He placed a pouch of spirit stones on the table, stating 10,000 spirit stones on Buqi. Neem Neem turned, surprised, and exclaimed, "Zhao Ming." "It's you." Zhao Ming, fanning himself elegantly, smiled. "Fairy Neem Neem, it's been a while. I'm surprised you still remember me." Niemitsky smiled back. "Of course, I remember you. you. But 10,000 spirit stones is a significant amount. You should take it back. I bet 1,000 to uphold Buqi's honor, but your wager is excessive. What's the meaning of this? Zhao and Ming maintained his gentle smile. Think of it as a friendly wager. If it can bring you joy, fairy Neem Neem, it's worth it. Besides, this amount is but a trifle to me. Neem Neem's lips twitched. Truly, the rich can do as they please, she thought. With a concerned tone, she asked, how have you been these past few years? Zhao and Ming lightly fanned himself, as if reluctant to delve into a heavy past. Much the same, he replied casually. After my father passed, everything fell onto my shoulders. I had to pull myself together for the family business. A flicker of sadness crossed Neem Neem's eyes. So his father did die in the end, she thought. Just as the mood darkened, a sudden roar erupted from the crowd. Heavens! And Z lost. Neem Neem's head snapped up, her eyes shining. Buqi won, she thought excitedly. On the platform, and Z collapsed, his face pale, a long, bleeding gash across his cheek. He struggled to prop himself up, glaring at Buqi with unconcealed resentment. His voice, hoarse with anger, rasped, I admit, you're strong. But one day, I will defeat you. A heavy sense of failure weighed on Z. So fast, he thought. His swordsmanship is incredibly swift, each strike precise. I couldn't find a single opening, and he clearly wasn't even using his full strength. Buqi frowned, his voice calm, yet sharp. Oh, is that so? I'll be waiting. With that, he turned and strode off the platform without a backward glance at the struggling Z. Down at the betting table, Neem Neem, clutching her winnings, turned to Zhao and Ming, offering him the heavy pouch. Zhao and Ming, these are yours. He looked at the spirit stones in her hand and chuckled softly. Keep them, fairy Neem Neem. I don't need them. Just then, Buqi descended for the platform. Seeing Neem Neem chatting happily with Zhao and Ming, a pang of jealousy shot through him. Without a word, he rushed towards Neem Neem, burying his face in her embrace like a child seeking comfort. Tightening his arms around her waist, he whined, Neem Neem, I won. She beamed. Yes, Buqi, you were amazing. He continued, Neem Neem, my back hurts again. Buqi continued to feign his injury. Seeing his discomfort, Neem Neem's heart ached. Gently stroking his head, she said, tonight, when we get back, I'll apply medicine and soothe it for you. Zhao and Ming glanced at Buqi, thinking to himself, why is this young man, even after growing up, still so clingy with fairy Neem Neem? Just now, in the arena, his swordsmanship was decisive and swift, leaving his opponent with no chance to retaliate. But here, beside the fairy, he puts on this act of frailty, as if a gust of wind could knock him over. Zhao and Ming stepped closer to Kwang Neem Neem and whispered, Fairy, don't you think the relationship between you two is a bit too intimate? Neem Neem, puzzled, asked, is it? Why? Buqi shot a glare at Zhao and Ming. Zhao and Ming continued to whisper to her, men and women shouldn't be so physically close. Suddenly, Zhao and Ming flinched, looking down as he met Buqi's murderous gaze. Buqi's voice, cold and sharp, enunciated each word to Zhao and Ming. She is Mine. Zhao and Ming glanced at Buqi, thinking to himself, and Buqi is no longer the boy he was 10 years ago. I can't be forceful with him. I'll find another opportunity to warn the fairy later. At that moment, on the competition platform, the announcer struck a gong and declared the final match. Kwang Neem Neem versus Duong Mak Nu. Neem Neem broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, I thought Buqi fighting in Z was a coincidence, but now my opponent is Tang Muru. What are the odds? Hearing the announcement, Buqi looked up and said to her, Neem Neem, just do your best. Be careful. She nodded and replied, Mem, don't worry. Then, she ascended the platform. The announcer declared the match begun. Duong Mak Nu stepped forward, bowed, and said, please advise. She drew her sword. Neem Neem looked at her, thinking, with such beauty, most men wouldn't have the heart to strike her. But I won't go easy on her. Neem Neem smiled. She immediately drew her own sword and charged towards Duong Mak Nu. Caught off guard by the sudden attack, Duong Mak Nu was stunned. She hastily raised her sword to block. Seeing the tremble in Duong Mak Nu's hand, Neem Neem smiled. Seizing the opportunity, she knocked Duong Mak Nu's sword away. Then, placing her sword against Duong Mak Nu's neck, she declared, I win. Duong Mok Nu, Situn, Sitam, Mis. Neem Neem turned and walked off the platform, saying, thank you for letting me win. Duong Mok Nu Fawen, Enda Fathing. She immediately summoned another sword, intending to attack Neem Neem from behind. Neem Neem spun around, thinking, try a sneak attack. She swiftly counterattacked, striking back at Duong Mak Nu. The blow sent Duong Mak Nu crashing to the ground, groaning in pain. Duong Huyen Deep and Kiet Ru rushed onto the platform, frantically calling out, Nu Nu, Mok Nu. Duong Huyen Deep gathered his spiritual energy, launching an attack at Neem Neem. How dare you injure Nu Nu? You're courting death. Neem Neem gasped, startled. Suddenly, Buchi appeared, blocking the attack with his own spiritual energy and simultaneously striking back at Duong Huyen Deep. He wiped the blood from his lip. Neem Neem anxiously asked, Buchi, are you alright? He replied, Neem Neem, I'm fine. Struck by the counterattack, Lang Vong coughed up blood. Kietru, the Miaojianggu king, cradled Duong Mak Nu and asked, Mak Nu, are you alright? I'll take you to a healer. She sobbed, Kietru, brother. Nu Nu hurts so much that I think Nu Nu has been poisoned. Kietru, seeing the wound on her chest, cried out in alarm, Mak Nu. Mok Nu. He then pointed at Kwang Neem Neem and demanded, did you poison her? Neem Neem immediately responded, I didn't. She attacked me first, so I fought back. But I absolutely did not poison her. Kiet Ru, ignoring her explanation, angrily scolded, still trying to make excuses. A woman like you, with such a venomous heart, even if Nu Nu did something wrong, you applied poison to your sword. You wanted to kill her. Kwang Neem Neem reiterated, I said I didn't. If my sword was poisoned, the blood she initially shed wouldn't have been red. The black blood only appeared after you all rushed onto the platform. Kiet Ru retorted furiously, are you suggesting Nu Nu poisoned herself and framed you? She's so innocent. How could she do such a thing? Let me tell you, if anything happens to her today, you won't live to see tomorrow. Duong Huyen Deep roared, enough. Kiet Ru, take Nu Nu to the divine healer Fu Hua for treatment. I'll investigate the poisoning. All right, Kiet Ru replied. Then Duong Huyen Deep commanded guards, take this woman to the dungeon and keep her under strict surveillance. His subordinates bowed and responded, yes, your majesty. The guards immediately surged forward. Kwang Neem Neem panicked. Being a beauty is truly a burden. Meeting the female lead has been the biggest mistake of my life. Arresting me without investigating the truth. This isn't just a lifelong mistake, it's a colossal blunder. Mbuchi instantly appeared, shielding Kwang Neem Neem, and declared coldly, let's see who dares. Duong Huyen Deep subordinates, seeing Mbuchi blocking their path, hesitated. One of them bowed respectfully and addressed Duong Huyen Deep, your majesty. Duong Huyen Deep, without looking at them, commanded with cold authority, ignore him. Arrest anyone who resists. Two guards, upon receiving the order, stepped forward and said to Kwang Neem Neem, without hesitation, young lady, please come with us. Otherwise, don't blame us for being forceful. Kwang Neem Neem stepped back, gripping her sword tightly, and retorted indignantly, I'm not the one who poisoned her. What right do you have to arrest me? She furrowed her brows, thinking, this won't do. They have too many people. If we fight, we're no match for them. I need to find someone to help. With that thought, Kwang Neem Neem summoned a small butterfly with her spiritual energy and whispered, please, go find true Lord Nanhua. He's at Buchi Peak. He's the only one who can help me right now. The small butterfly, receiving the command, swiftly flew away, its light flickering in the tense atmosphere. Just then, one of Duong Huyen Deep's subordinates, losing his patience, shouted, you've been offered a drink politely, but you insist on forcing us to make you drink. With that, he drew his sword and lunged towards Kwang Neem Neem. But just as his blade flashed, Mbuchi, quick as lightning, caught the blade with his bare hand. The grating screech of metal on metal echoed. A deep gash appeared on his hand, blood welling up. But he didn't flinch. His eyes flashed with icy fury. In a blink of an eye, Mbuchi snapped the sword in the guard's hand and shoved him sprawling backwards. Seeing the blood flowing from Mbuchi's hand, Kwang Neem Neem rushed to him in alarm, grasping his hand. Her voice laced with worry. She cried out, Buchi, and Buchi turned to her, instantly putting on a pitiful expression. In a weak voice, he said, Neem Neem, I'm hurt. Kwang Neem Neem, filled with both distress and anger, turned to Duong Huyen Deep's men. How dare you attack before the matter has been properly investigated? She scolded loudly. This is blatant bullying. Duong Huyen Deep's expression remained icy. His gaze, sharp as a blade, fixed on her. He injured my younger sister, he declared resolutely. As her older brother, I must seek justice. Furthermore, he injured my subordinates. Someone, arrest them both. He commanded. Just as the situation reached a critical point, a booming voice echoed from afar, powerful as a thunderclap. Let's see who dares touch my little sister. Everyone turned towards the source of the voice. A tall figure, radiating an imposing aura, approached with slow but steady steps. Quivu Fong appeared, his presence like a protective deity, positioning himself in front of Kwang Nim Nim and Mbuchi. Kwang Nim Nim's face lit up with relief at the sight of him. So Quivu Fong really came, she thought joyfully. She hurried to his side, pointing at Duong Huin deep with an aggrieved expression. Big brother, they're bullying me. They have no proof I poisoned her, but they still want to throw me in the dungeon. Quivu Fong's expression remained unchanged. He patted Kwang Nim Nim's shoulder reassuringly. Don't worry, little sister, he said, his voice calm but authoritative. Big brother will see justice is served. He took Kwang Nim Nim's sword, holding it aloft for all to see. I gave her this sword, he announced, his voice ringing out. A hilt of green jade bamboo, a blade of Xianling iron. If it were poisoned, it would turn black. But as you can see, the blade is gleaming. Clearly, there's no poison on it. And you, he continued, his sharp gaze sweeping over Duong Huin Deep's men, you want to arrest someone without knowing the facts. Since when does someone else call the shots in NAMA-MANGAI? His voice hardened, sensing Quivu Fong's overwhelming presence. Duong Huin Deep dared not directly confront him. He hastily bowed, his tone conciliatory. True Lord Nanhua, you misunderstand. I didn't mean to make things difficult for Miss Kwang. It's just that my younger sister is unconscious, and we don't know who poisoned her, so. Just then, one of Duong Huin Deep's subordinates rushed over, breathlessly reporting, Your Highness, Miss Duong has awakened. Divine Healer Fu Hua sent word that this matter has nothing to do with Miss Kwang. Duong Huin Deep's face brightened. Nu es way, he asked eagerly. Take me to her. Before leaving, he turned and bowed sincerely to Kwang Nim Nim and Quivu Fong. Miss Kwang, I apologize for my earlier rudeness. Please excuse me. With that, he and his men hurried away, leaving the onlookers still reeling from the confrontation. With the poisoning matter resolved, Kwang Nim Nim smiled and bowed to Quivu Fong. Thank you for your help, big brother, she said. If you ever need my assistance, I'll do my best to help. Quivu Fong chuckled. We're family, he said. There's no need for such formalities. Now about this young brother here. Little sister, you should take him to Shun Kuei for treatment. Kwang Nim Nim glanced and Buchi's injury and nodded. All right, she replied, then led him away to receive medical attention. Inside the Medicine King's pavilion, Duong Mak Nu lay in bed, surrounded by Kiet Ru and Duong Huin Deep. Kwang Nim Nim stood nearby, watching as Shun Kuei examined Buchi's pulse. Dung Mok Nu lay on te sikbet, Dung Huin Deep hovering an siu li beside her. Nu, he asked solicitously, does your wound still hurt? She coughed delicately before replying, Brother, I'm all right now. Kwang Nim Nim, observing the scene, thought to herself, she really is the female lead. With that delicate appearance, who wouldn't feel sorry for her? She looked up and asked Kiet Ru, so what actually happened? Kiet Ru replied, it wasn't poison. There was a soul-devouring thorn on the arena that hadn't been removed. When Mak Nu fell, her wound came into contact with it, and the toxin entered her bloodstream. Despite this explanation, he glared at Kwang Nim Nim. But even so, you're the one who caused Mak Nu's injury. Don't you have anything to say? Niemitski's lips twitched. This kid, I haven't even blamed you for wrongfully arresting me and injuring my Buchi, and now you want me to apologize. Are you looking for another fight? She shrugged. All I have to say is, drink plenty of warm water. Kiet Ru, enraged, started to yell you. At that moment, Shun Kuei, who was taking Buchi's pulse, interrupted. All right, if you want to argue, take it outside. Don't disturb the peace here. Kiet Ru immediately fell silent. Kwang Nim Nim approached Shun Kuei. How is Buchi's injury? She asked. Shun Kuei replied, his pulse. He was about to answer when he noticed Buchi feigning weakness, coughing dramatically. Shun Kuei frowned, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. Weak my foot. His pulse is stronger than anyone I've ever seen. However, playing along with Buchi's charade, he told Kwang Nim Nim his pulse is a bit unstable. I'll prescribe some medicine. Boil it and have him drink it. She smiled gratefully. Thank you, Shun Kuei, she replied. Shun Kuei then stood up and said, all right, if there's nothing else, everyone please leave. There are a few things I need to discuss with Miss Duong regarding the poison in her system. Everyone quickly filed out. Duong Mak Nu asked Shun Kuei anxiously, is something wrong with the poison in my body? Shun Kuei stared at her, silent for a moment, before asking, Miss Duong, why did you apply poison to your wound and let others falsely accuse Kwang Nim Nim? Duong Mok knew feigned ignorance. What do you mean, Shun Kuei? I don't understand. Shun Kuei said, don't play coy. I've detected traces of the soul devouring thorns poison on your hand. The poison in your wound wasn't accidental contamination. Someone applied the poison there. Duong Mok knew, realizing she couldn't deny it. Her face paled. She replied, yes, I applied the poison myself. But I did it for a reason, Shun Kuei. I can dream of the future. I dreamt that the demonic resentment seed would awaken, and the mortal realm would descend into hell. And Kwang Nim Nim, she is the demonic resentment seed. So I wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate her, to avert disaster for all living beings. Shin Kuei naturally didn't believe her. He brushed her hand away and asked coldly, dreaming of the future. Preposterous. Why should I believe you? He thought to himself. The information about the demonic resentment seed's awakening is only known to the 4 great immortal sects. How could Duong Mok know about it? She said, I dreamt that Kwang Nim Nim helped you save a spiritual essence tree in the Medicine King's Valley. Did that happen? Shin Kuei, startled, asked, what else do you know? Clutching her head, she said, and helping her enter the primordial array. My ability to dream of the future is limited. This is all I know. Shin Kuei furrowed his brow after hearing this. Is that true? Duong Mok hastily replied, it's true. Don't you believe me? Shin Kuei responded, let's not make a big deal out of this. Regarding the demonic resentment seed, consider it a trade. I will keep your secret about using the poisoning incident to frame someone else. Duong Mok quickly said, but Kwang Nim Nim. Shin Kuei coldly interrupted her. Enough. Whether these dreams of the future are true or not remains to be seen. I cannot allow Kwang Nim Nim to be put in danger. This ends here. Rest well. I'm leaving. With that, Shin Kuei turned and left, leaving Duong Mok behind. She gritted her teeth in anger. Why? In my dream of the future, Shin Kuei clearly liked me. Why is he speaking up for Kwang Nim Nim? My dream showed that after the demonic resentment seed appears, Kwang Nim Nim will steal everything that belongs to me. If that's the case, Kwang Nim Nim, don't blame me. Just you wait, Shin Kuei, until they kill you. Meanwhile, outside, Kwang Nim Nim poured wine for Nbuchi. He smiled and asked, Nim Nim, do you want to drink tonight? She cheerfully replied, yes. We both won our matches today, so let's celebrate. Try it. She handed him a cup of wine, then tipped her head back and drained her own cup. Delicious, she exclaimed. Ambuji yachit hersidently. After a while, Kwang Nim Nim, having finished the jar, hugged it close. This one is really good. He took her hand. Niemitski. He leaned down, a smile playing on his lips. Nim Nim, are you drunk? She reached out and touched his face. Who are you? You're very handsome. He chuckled, teasing her. Am I more handsome, or is Nbuchi more handsome? She frowned in thought for a moment, then replied, no matter how handsome you are, you're not as handsome as my Buchi. My Buchi is the most handsome. He continued to question her. So, who do you like more? She quickly replied, Buchi, of course. As soon as she finished speaking, Nbuchi leaned down and kissed her, startling her. She pushed him away. Let go. He laughed. Nim Nim, between me and Nbuchi, who would you rather marry? She blushed. You. He frowned immediately. Why not Nbuchi? Didn't you say he's the most handsome, that you like him the most? She yawned. What are you talking about? Nbuchi is my baby, you know? He's my son. Nbuchi looked at her, confused. Son. He fell silent, watching as Kwang Nim Nim fell asleep on the table. He reached out and brushed her hair away from her face, a smile gracing his lips. Niemitski. What if Buchi doesn't want to be your son? What if he wants to be your husband? And Buchi moved closer to Kwang Nim Nim, his eyes bright, as if trying to pierce through her thoughts. His voice was low and husky, yet alluring. Instead of looking for another man, why not try me? The one you personally raised. By now, Kwang Nim Nim was fast asleep, completely oblivious to his words. And Buchi leaned down, his gaze soft yet tinged with a burning intensity as he studied her peaceful face. He softly called her name, Nim Nim, but she remained deep in slumber, utterly unresponsive. He murmured, she's completely asleep. What should I do with you, my dear? Looking at her serene expression, a wave of indescribable tenderness washed over him, while a smoldering fire seemed to spread through his body. Unable to contain himself, he gently lowered his head and brushed his lips against hers. The kiss was fleeting, like a gentle breeze, yet was enough to send his heart racing. The scene seemed to shift. Nbuchi and Kwang Nim Nim lay together on a bed, the dim light from a bedside lamp casting an ambiguous glow over the room. Mbuchi was now shirtless, his broad back and sculpted muscles clearly defined in the soft yellow light. He moved closer, gently kissing her lips once more. Then, slowly, he reached out and began to unbutton her clothes, whispering, "Neem Neem, let me undress you, okay?" His eyes were filled with adoration and a hint of longing. Kwang Neem Neem suddenly awoke. The cool sensation on her skin startled her. She immediately pulled her clothes back together, her face flushed with embarrassment. Her voice trembled as she asked, "Buchi, what are you doing?" Mbuchi didn't answer. Instead, he lowered his head and gently kissed her exposed skin. Each kiss was like a small flame, igniting the passions of both of them. "Neem Neem," he murmured, his voice low and tender yet firm, "I want you." Kwang Neem Neem gasped, her mind growing hazy, but she clung to the last vestiges of her lucidity, her voice shaking as she replied, "Wait, no. We can't do this. We can't be like this." But Mbuchi seemed unwilling to hear any further refusal. He continued to shower her flushed face with gentle kisses, each one chipping away at her resistance. In the quiet room, only the sound of their ragged breaths remained. Then, Kwang Neem Neem jolted awake, her forehead damp with perspiration. She clutched her head, gasping for breath, her heart pounding as if she had just experienced something incredibly exciting. What kind of dream was that? She wondered, still unable to believe the strange images that had just played out in her mind. Her eyes drifted to the side, and the sight before her made her freeze. Mbuchi was lying beside her, shirtless, his bare chest rising and falling steadily with each breath. Kwang Neem Neem felt her entire body stiffen. Trembling, she cautiously lifted the blanket to check beneath. The sight that greeted her sent a wave of panic through her. Mbuchi appeared to be naked as well. Beneath the blanket was a rooster crowing softly. Her face turned crimson. Kwang Neem Neem, in a panic, immediately pulled the blanket back over the rooster, her face burning like a tomato. "He's not